and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any agenda changes or additions? Any addition or changes? We do have
Madam-
an add-on.
Yes, Madam
Do we
Chair.
have two? Yep.
Yes, there are two.
Okay, and so I will order those without exception, without,
Well, I object because we don't know what they are,
I'm going to tell her right now.
but you're ordering them before telling
Oh,
us.
sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so one is a resolution to accept the Flint Police Foundation grant to the Flint Police Department and amend the fiscal year 26 budget in the amount of $127,000. The other one is a resolution to accept grant funding for the city clerk's office for an early voting wage reimbursement for the November 5th, 2024 general election. And I will order those without objection. Add-on number one, the clerk's resolution, and add-on number two is the police, just because that's what's on the order I've got them in my hand. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Are there any other requests for agenda changes or additions? Yes.
If you could please repeat for the record which add-on is which.
Add-on number one is the resolution to accept grant funding to the city clerk's office for an early voting wage reimbursement for the November 5th, 2024 general election. Add-on two is the resolution to accept the Flint Police Foundation grant to the Flint Police Department and amend the fiscal year 26 budget in the amount of $127,000. You're welcome. Okay, it's now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance of the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only one speaking opportunity per speaker. Madam Clerk, who is our first public speaker?
The first speaker is Sarah Scheitler.
All right, ready? Good
Just
evening.
one moment. Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Yes.
I just want to point out that we are again having issues with the outside monitors, so the public might not be able to see their time. So just when you start, you have 3 minutes, and we can see it on this side. Unfortunately, I'm still working on it. Thank you.
Yep, just tell me if I'm done.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Scheitler. I am a resident of Central Park neighborhood in the 7th Ward. I am the president of the Central Park Neighborhood Association, and we worked with our council person on the proposed vacant building ordinance that I believe you heard 2 weeks ago. I'm here to speak in support of that again tonight. Our neighborhood, and I think the entire city of Flint, is experiencing a crisis of vacant building owners. As you may have seen in the last week's Wall Street Journal article about Flint investments, we have lots of out-of-state investors, out-of-country investors who are buying up properties and then often sitting on them, letting them deteriorate and causing, instead of investment in our city, an investment in the further deterioration of our neighborhoods. And this is completely unfair and frustrating for the residents who actually live in these neighborhoods. We need to ensure as a city that these investors are improving property conditions in Flint and investing in the lives of the people already here, rather than sitting on those deteriorating properties and waiting for a payout. We feel that the proposed ordinance is one tool in our toolbox to do that, and I hope you will consider passing that on to council tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next speaker is James Thompson.
Good evening, council members. My name is James Thompson, and I'm a resident of Flint and a member of the Central Park Neighborhood Association. I'm here tonight not just to speak about my property, but as you've already heard, the pattern is here in Flint, and we need to put some teeth into our ordinances. Behind my home sits a vacant property. There's no house, only a deteriorating, what I would call a blighted garage. And from that property, a large tree fell years ago onto my chain link fence, crushing it and leaving my yard exposed. And that damage still remains today. At the same time, an aggressive, invasive vine emanated from that tree, and it continues to grow and neglect my property, attaching to my garage. And I've been cutting it back now for 7 years. I have tried to contact the property owner multiple times, but no reply. So what does a homeowner do? Maintain the property for them, absorb the damage, or spend time and money chasing an absentee owner? This is not just my situation. This is happening across Flint, and I'm sure you well know that. And it points to the larger issue. Absentee ownership without accountability leads to neighborhood decline. We have people purchasing property in Flint, sometimes from outside the city, sometimes from outside of the state or even the country. Meanwhile, the burden falls on the neighbors who stay, invest, and really care. I'm here tonight to support stronger ordinances that do 3 things. First, require active maintenance and accountability for all property owners,
Thank you. That was your
especially
time.
vacant.
That is your time. I'm sorry.
That fire?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you want to stay for the next committee, you complete it, you can complete your discussion, or during, yeah, because that's legislative. Yep, so the next meeting, you'll have an opportunity to complete your statement. You'll have another opportunity for 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I tend not to, but I will go ahead and let you go ahead and finish.
Point of
I try
order.
to be consistent with everyone
Point
and
of
not
order.
allow anybody finish.
Point of
Go ahead.
Like, how much time does he have left?
30 seconds. 10 to 20
Okay.
seconds.
then-
Okay, go ahead, finish up.
Thank you very much. Secondly, create a real enforcement timeline with consequences when the damage or blight affects neighboring properties. And third, ensure that when the property causes harm, like the fallen tree on my fence, that the owner is made to be responsible or pay for the work to be done. And I think with this current city council that we can fix this problem. It's going to help everybody. Our policies should reflect the resilience and the spirit of Flint folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
The final speaker for this meeting is Jim Richardson.
We understand.
Good evening, Council. I'm Jim Richardson, live at 915 East Court Street, also part of the Central Park Neighborhood Association. Was here last week when we introduced the ordinance for the vacant property piece. Again, here, encouraging you to take it up. If you have questions or concerns, we're happy to act as a resource of information for you about the background of how this ordinance got put together and some of the specifics of it. So do call upon us if you do have questions. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. And that's the last of our public comment. It's now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who'd like to address the public? Go ahead.
Madam Chair, thank you. Thank you to all the speakers who attended this meeting. As you know, I am in full support of the ordinance that you spoke about as far as the vacant property registry. I think that it is something that our city so desperately needs. A lot of times we have a hard time finding the owners of not only residential buildings, but also commercial structures, because the information that we have for them is simply outdated. So all we're doing is something that is already been done not only around our state, but around the country, and that is requiring those who own property within our city, whether they live here or not, to have a way that we can find them and hold them accountable and responsible for said property. I want to remind everybody that May is Love Your City Month. And for you to get involved at your curb, May 4th through the 8th, unlimited large item pickup. Place items curbside by 7 a.m. on your regular collection day. Items not accepted: refrigerators, air conditioners, dehumidifiers, cast iron tubs, things of that nature. May 11th through the 15th, unlimited bagged trash pickup. All trash must be bagged, weigh under 50 pounds, and be placed curbside by 7 a.m. on regular collection day. May 18th through the 22nd is unlimited bundled brush pickup. Brush must be bundled with rope or twine, no wire or belts, nor more than 4 feet long, 2 inches thick, and 50 pounds. And things that are not accepted: tree trunks, stumps, or logs. You can place the bundles curbside by 7 a.m. on your regular collection day. Free cleaning supplies for public spaces, including yard waste bags, garbage bags, and cotton work gloves to individual groups conducting exterior cleanup activities in public areas. For more information, you can call Keep Genesee County Beautiful, 810-767-9696. And I do want to remind those who are here for the ordinance that will be taken up in the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank all the residents for coming out. And we been seeing people cleaning up. I've seen Land Bank out today and all this week and last week, cleaning up the different areas. The NSO officers been out ticketing properties, making sure that people are held accountable for their blight or their trash that they're leaving out, ticketing cars. Also the city of Flint for also out. Again, we're doing a job well done. We're just starting off the spring. So if anybody is interested in neighborhood cleanups or anything like that, please contact us, and we're out doing the work as well. Have a great day.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing no movement, and I will speak on the proposed ordinance that I am fully in support of that. We have a lot of vacant properties in the 4th Ward. There's one at the end of my street that they stopped paying taxes on it. It went up in flames. It's at the land bank now, and here we sit. Just like so many other streets in the 4th Ward. So I am fully 100% in order of that, in favor of that, and I will vote so accordingly. Thank you. Consent agenda. Entertain a motion. Go ahead.
A motion that we approve the consent agenda.
It's been the motion was made by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Are there any separations? And
I would like to separate 260145.
Okay.
And as well as 260089.1.
All right, any other separations? Any other separations? Yes,
260089.1.
it's already been separated. Jerry just separated.
Yeah.
She did too.
Thank you.
Any other separations? Any other separations? Hearing none, the consent agenda will consist of 260143, Deer Credit for the purchase of a wheel loader for the Fleet Division, and 260144, change order 1 for DH3 Transport for sludge hauling service for the waste plant. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
for the
Oh,
record,
excuse me, add on 1 and add on 2.
Add-ons.
Add on 1 and add on 2.
and I did not, I know Ms. Shat made the motion. Who seconded that motion?
First ward.
Okay, and then the motion was to approve, but it's obviously to move to council
Yes.
Okay.
Go to council.
already. So the roll call, Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 8 yes, 0 no. Those will be sent to council. Our first separation is 260089.1, the amended acceptance of Genesee County Senior Millage Funding for the Eric May Senior and Community Service Center and amend the fiscal year 2026 budget. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to send 260089.1 to council.
Motion's been made by the councilman in the first ward to send 260089.1 to council. Is there support? Supported by the councilwoman, 7th ward. Are there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, through you to anyone that can speak on this resolution. I see movement. Do I see Mr. Taylor coming before us? First, I would like to find out, did we receive all of the information? I see you passing out something, Mr. Taylor. Is that the budget?
If I may talk,
Go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
what I'm passing out is the total operating budget and FY '26 budget and activity, FY '27 budget and footnotes. This is basically what Councilman Pfeiffer asked for at last meeting. So pretty much this is everything that you all wanted prior to everything else that we gave. Nothing else to give.
Okay. I need to. Saying that I just got this, I want to look over this. I'm going to yield my time. I'll talk on the next round.
Is there any other discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Hi, Ms. Taylor. How are you today?
All right.
Real quick, so one of the things that we added, and we're just getting this, how much did we receive for rentals?
It's on here. All you have to look down, and
Which,
you'll find it.
well, we just got, if you can kind of direct us to it. We didn't get this until just now. Meals for Wheels, outreach, janitorial.
It's right here.
So on here,
I'm showing we're on paper. It's right here, right underneath the first box. It's the second box. It's in the bold.
Okay, so are we paying, on this budget, it states we're paying for janitorial services? But I thought we were having city employees take care of it now. Because I believe on the last one, we received.
It is, city employees are currently one city employee is currently taking care of the rentals up at, not the rentals, but the Maze Center, 5 days a week.
So on here, it has janitorial services at $1,500 per month, equaling $18,000. So that's, is that the salary of the person doing it?
It evidently is.
Because I know.
And you have to include fringes, wages, everything.
Okay,
So
that's not included in this breakdown.
in the 1,500, that's got to be what it is.
So the activity, Judy, you said it's where at, second box?
Second box, it's in bold. In bold says senior center rental revenues.
Oh, the $19,760.
Yes.
Okay. And do we know how much of this budget, because right down it says a total $281,000. $281,000 is basically your budget. How much of this was ARPA funds, do we know?
I can't tell you that. I think that was told last time. All I know is Councilman Pfeiffer asked for the total operating budget for 26 and the activity for 27 budget and the footnotes, and that's what was given. I'm almost certain last time that was answered by Christian.
So it was not, because we did ask several times, several of us asked how much of it was ARPA, because it did not come before city council for approval. And if we're looking at almost $300,000 that was spent, and is this being funded through ARPA, or how is it being funded? Out of what fund?
A lot of this comes from Parks and Rec Fund. Some of it comes from General Fund, if I'm not mistaken.
So Parks, okay. So Parks, I don't see ARPA on here. It has 101 fund, which is the general, 2 general fund, and then it has everything else is 208. How much of that general fund is ARPA tracked?
I can't tell you that, but I will tell you this. At the end of the day, the only reason why the city is running this place is because the Hasselbring nonprofit had an opportunity to run it. They agreed on a rate of $500 a month. They signed the contract at $500 a month. When they got up here, they were told by you and others that we shouldn't be charging them anything. So as a result, at that point, we took it over. They tried to get it back. We say, no, they took it over. Where they're at now, they're paying way more than $500 a month. Don't have the facilities that we have.
Okay, Mr.
Okay, well, no,
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
talking.
reclaim
You
my
can't
time.
interrupt me right now.
Yes, I can.
No, you
I'm
can't.
reclaiming my time, Mr.
Well, okay,
Mr.
well, you
Taylor.
do what you want to do.
Well, you don't answer
I'm gonna
questions
tell you
anyways.
this.
No,
I'm
you
gonna
don't.
tell you this.
Warn
If you
him.
want to
Excuse me, he's out of order.
vote it
He's out
up
of
or
order.
vote it
You're
down.
out of
Don't
order,
take it
Mr.
back to
You're
finance. Just
out
vote it
of-
up or
You're
down.
out of order.
Well, fine.
You're out of
Yes,
order.
both of you.
They come in here, they spending money, and we supposed to just accept it. Don't even know where it's at. That's crazy. Don't have no answers. ARPA is not for just to be spent frivolously.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
That's just the last minute.
is there somebody from the administration that would speak to this?
Well,
Say my budget.
Mr. Taylor was the one who came up. Do you want Mr. Taylor back up?
Whoever can speak to this, I don't.
Mr. Taylor, would you like to come back up and speak to Mr. Pfeiffer? No. Is there anyone?
Mr. Taylor, will you come and answer my question, sir?
Is there anyone else who would like to come up from the administration to answer any questions?
What about Mr. Evans?
Mr. Edwards
Mr.
there?
Edwards, you want to answer a question?
I don't,
I don't understand.
here he comes.
You cannot just spend money.
I
and
don't
not
know what
expect
just
it to
happened.
pass. I mean, the ARPA track money.
Mr. Edwards, are you familiar with this budget? Huh?
No, sir. I have to
No.
divert to Mr. Taylor on this one.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Given that Mr. Taylor won't answer my questions, I'm going to make a motion to leave it here.
Support. Oh, you want to talk?
There's a motion on the floor to leave.
I'll withdraw.
Okay.
I'll withdraw. I just don't.
Any other discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
today we have the opportunity to address a matter of great importance to our community, specifically the resolution to amend the acceptance of the senior millage funding for the Eric May Senior Community Center. The funding has faced delays, but now that several council members have had an opportunity to review the necessary corrections and budgetary considerations, it is time to act in the best interest of our seniors and the broader community. Supporting this resolution is not just about financial figures, it is also about ensuring that we uphold our commitment to enhancing the quality of life for our seniors. After thorough review and discussion, we have a clear understanding of how the funds and things will be utilized. The need of our seniors have been clearly defined and are pressing. The Genesee County Commissioners have approved the millage funding for the seniors. I urge my fellow council members to support this resolution to accept the senior millage funding and send it to council. This is in my ward, and we haven't taken this above and beyond to get all the things I think answered. We had several individuals come speak to council members answering all the questions that they requested. At this point, I think it's just, it's a disservice and it's harming our seniors for them to be able to continue to do the programming and things that they're doing. So I highly encourage my council members to support this. I will be supporting. Thank you.
Any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So obviously, tensions run high when you have things that people are passionate about. I think the frustration comes because this has been in front of us for quite some time. This is millage money that has gone to the center before. I think that there are some questions or a line of questioning that's happening now that didn't necessarily happen with the other group. What I want to say to all of this is, regardless of what side you stand on this is about the seniors who, this is the reason we were awarded the millage money. The county, after another application was submitted, saw fit to go ahead and award this funding. We have in front of us the budget for how everything will be spent as was requested. I believe the last time that Christian was here, he did answer some of the ARPA questions. I just want us all to remain level-headed and remember that at the end of the day, we are here to serve the residents of Flint. We're here to do what's best for the residents of Flint. I understand that with that comes questions. I wholeheartedly agree that we cannot frivolously spend money, but I also understand that the budget that we requested has been placed before us of what the funding will be used for. This budget is now here in our hands. We need to go ahead and get this passed tonight so that the senior center can continue to operate. We're saying that ARPA money doesn't need to be used for it, other city funding doesn't need to be used for it, and you all are correct when you state that, because we have millage money that can be used for the senior center for the activities that are taking place. There are a lot of wonderful things that happens over at the Eric B. Mays Senior Center, just to name just a few of them, but they have aerobics classes, they have crochet classes, they have some other classes where they may or may not be learning about technology. Don't quote me on that one. I can't remember if that's actually a class, but the bottom line is they have a place where they can go with people who are their peers, where they can enjoy each other and enjoy the days of rest and relaxation that they've earned. And I would just ask that we would go ahead and get this passed tonight onto council as a whole, so that they can continue the senior activities. Again, this is millage money that we're just simply being asked to accept for a senior center that is serving
Request for
a population in our city. Madam Chair, can you pause my time?
Yes.
Madam Chair, can you pause my time?
Go.
Time's still going.
Yes, pause time.
Should have been paused at 23.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. What?
I'm sorry.
I heard
23.
something over there, but I didn't know that it was. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Jarrett.
Through you to the speaker, is it that this resolution is only accepting the 54,720 or 744 in the millage, or is it also amending the 26 budget and adopting the 27?
All due respect, Vice President, you have the same information in front of you that I have in front of me. If you'd like to take time as I finish my 2 minutes and 23 seconds to get that answer, I will happily allow you to do so as I finish my time.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm ready.
Go ahead. Start the time again. Thank you.
So, as I was stating before, there are a lot of emotions and passions behind this particular resolution for whatever the reason. I just want everybody to remain clear-minded and clear-headed about the fact that this is millage money given to us by the county for the senior center. And we need to stay focused on that fact. I think we've gotten into some lines of questioning, which everybody, long story short, we need to focus on the focus. And we have to make sure that we are doing what's best for the seniors in our community with this millage money. We could all backtrack and go back to how we ended up here. We all know how we ended up here. We could talk about the ARPA, the who, the this, the that before all of this. But the bottom line is this resolution is for the amended acceptance of the Genesee County Senior Millage Funding Eric May Senior and Community Service Center, amended fiscal year 2026 budget. This is what this is for. I would urge everyone, both my colleagues and the administration, everyone just stay focused on what we are supposed to be doing here in this moment with this resolution, and everyone allow cooler heads to prevail. I yield.
Madam Chair,
Yeah, you've already spoken. in this.
you're not in the second round yet?
No, we're not. Is there any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round? I'll take my time. You know, we went through, during budget hearings, we were given a detailed list of what was spent, and we went through this quite heavily. And last, there was only 2 members of the council present during that budget hearing.
There she goes.
If we look at the resolution,
She does
it
all
says
the time.
exactly
We
where
need to
this
tell her.
$54,000, I believe it's 54, is going, 57, going to be, no, it's 54,744, is going to be spent. And that is money that the city does not have to spend, or in some cases, they can increase spending to pay for classes for the seniors. You know, I've looked at the schedule. I'm a senior. I've looked at the schedule and thought, yeah, I'd like to take some of those classes or be involved. And I haven't made myself available to do that, but there's a lot of opportunities there for the seniors, for the whole city to to take a lot of enrichment classes and keep themselves busy. If somebody's single and they live alone, it gives them opportunities to have that social interaction that we all need to survive. So I have always been in favor of this. Anything that reduces the drain on our city resources, I'm all in favor of. And I am definitely voting for this. Is there any discussion in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So first of all, we are not, I want to be perfectly clear, we're asking pertinent questions that pertain to their budget. We've never seen the budget. That's a problem. And when the ARPA dollars are not being tracked or shared with city council, then it's a problem. We know that 54,000, where will that plug into their budget? We just received this 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. And we've been asking for this for how long? This senior center, we're not against it. And it's not to pit us against the seniors is just wrong. And furthermore, Hasselbrink, that's just outright lies. Those were lies. They wanted the center, they got it, they found another place, they moved on. When we're asking about budget, we're not even talking about Hasselbrink. This has nothing to do with Hasselbrink at this moment. What it does have something to do with is transparency. How much of the $281,000 was spent from ARPA? We haven't seen it. Who approved it? It's called accountability and it's called being transparent. Through you, Madam Chair, through to the city clerk. City clerk, we've asked for, since the administration doesn't want to answer questions, what happened to the subpoena? Because this administration keeps walking off, storming off. Where is that subpoena at?
Madam Chair, through you to Ms. Burns, I delivered that information to Attorney Gurley after your meeting, and that's where it stands right now. She was doing whatever she needs to do.
So it's
but it has
with
been
Attorney
delivered to
Gurley?
The legal department.
Okay. Through you, Madam Chair, to Attorney Darrow, or I'd like to send a referral to you, Madam Clerk, to Attorney Gurley, that we need an update. Where's the resolution? We need to know, because each time they come to that podium, we ask basic questions. Where is the ARPA money? Who approved it? Because none of this 281,000, who approved it? And they're spending, they told us with their administration, we're spending freely because we can with the ordinance number, $25,000 when we want to, because there's an ordinance, there's nothing wrong with it. And we can spend up to $74,999, and they can do it as many times as they want to. So guess what? We're doing our jobs and we're asking the questions. The problem is they're not giving us the answers. And storming off doesn't get it. It's not about storm. We're asking, how are we paying for the seniors? That's all. We got this today. And they walked off. How much was ARPA? Still don't have that. The Parks and Rec, who approved it? So find out where that subpoena is at, because he needs to come answer questions, since, you know, we get disrespected from the staff. They walk off, they storm off, they close their books, and they head out the door or back to their seats. Completely unacceptable.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round? Any other?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So this is the second time in a row I've been unable to answer my questions because the administration has stormed off. I appreciate Mr. Edwards coming up and saying he doesn't know, but what we just witnessed and what the residents just witnessed, the buffoonery that we just witnessed is appalling. Literally, we get a document 2 minutes before we're asked to vote on something, and we're not just accepting dollars, we're also approving how to spend those dollars. So, and we can't get any questions answered. This is the second meeting in a row. Now, and it may be funny to them back there, but it's getting ridiculous that we can't get basic questions answered. Now, I had a different line of questioning regarding the document we just received, and apparently it doesn't matter. So maybe the votes are already there, but I find it very childish what we just witnessed. Very childish. I mean, if you don't know the answer, I don't know the answer, let me get back to you on it, right? That would have been an acceptable answer. I don't know it, let me get back to you. Instead, you cried off like a little baby. It's ridiculous. And until someone from the administration wants to sit up here and answer questions that we have, I will continue to vote no, because if there's no accountability and there's no transparency, and we can't even, as a council, ask basic questions on a document that we got 30 seconds ago, I don't know what's going to happen. So I yield.
Anyone else in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So this is why I asked that cooler heads would prevail, because I think what happens when people get upset is you begin to misspeak and you begin to inadvertently insult your colleagues. If I just sat here and asked for everyone to calm down and everyone to be on the same page, and for us all to move this together as a council, to insinuate that there's some sort of covert thing happening where votes are already in place is insulting. I'm trying to work with everyone, my colleagues and the administration, to get this passed, to get an understanding of the spending and what's going to happen, as well as making sure that this gets done for our seniors. What doesn't need to happen are the insults toward colleagues because you're frustrated with the administration, who is clearly in turn frustrated with you. I think that we all need to show the residents, regardless of our levels of frustration, that we can sit here and that we can figure this out. Regardless if you like one person's behavior or not, we still have to remain intact as a council and not take jabs and shots at each other. Again, I'm standing on what I said, and that is the fact that this resolution is about us accepting the senior millage money so that the senior activities can continue at the Mays Senior Center. We have a budget in front of us. We can take a look at it, we can go over it, and we can decide for ourselves how we will move for the seniors. I think this is where it comes in and it shows council leadership. It shows that co-equal branches of government in there. When we can take this, regardless of how we feel or any interactions that just happened, and we look at these numbers and we say, you know what? We understand and we see that this is an acceptable use of the senior millage money, so we will go ahead and pass it. I am simply asking for cooler heads to prevail, not all the jabs and the insinuation toward colleagues. I yield, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else in the second round? Anyone else in the second round? All right, seeing none, this is the vote to send resolution 260089.1 to council.
Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
No.
Ms. Burns,
No.
Ms. Mashat,
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Nope.
Mr. Jarrett,
No.
Mr. Alamin.
Yes.
Vote is 5 yes, 4 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 4 no. That will be sent to council. Our next resolution is 260145, third quarter budget amendment fiscal year 2026. Is there any motion? Excuse me, I'm asking for a motion to send up, there's a motion on 260145.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to send resolution 260145, which is the third quarter budget amendment fiscal year 2026 to council.
It's been moved by this councilwoman in the seventh ward, supported by the councilman in the first ward. Is there any discussion? That was your separation? Okay, go ahead.
Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore, the budget man. Mr. Moore, so we are amending this budget. But it's several things under this, right?
There are basically three parts of it.
Okay, can you explain?
The first part is we received a pension grant from the state of Michigan for $27 million. The money went, the state sent the money directly to MERS, never passed through our banks, but directly to MERS. We need to recognize both the revenue and the expense for that, which is that's out to zero in terms of what happens on our books. The second part is a transfer of $3 million to the self-insurance fund. We periodically need to replenish that fund for lawsuits and settlements. And we just had a large case and to announce time to replenish it. That will come out of the general fund. The general fund can handle that. And the last piece is I believe it's 25,000 for equipment for the city clerk's office.
For the what?
The city clerk,
The city parks?
the
Or
city
the
clerk.
the city clerk? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I saw that part, the city clerk. And that's for the,
I believe that's what you voted on last time for.
right. Okay. So, and it's all gonna add up to what, Mr. Moore?
Well, the overall increase, or overall increase in spending is $30,025,000. 27 million of that is the grant, 3 million is to transfer from one fund to another fund, and 25,000 is for the sign interpreter.
Okay. And that's gonna be it, so. I forgot, I had another question. So how is that gonna, impact the budget? Now, what will the total?
The only thing which is really going to show any decrease in the budget will be the 25,000 for the sign interpreter.
Right,
The pension grant is actually going to be reducing our pension liabilities. So long-term, that's a big, big savings for the city.
okay,
And the $3 million is just moving the money from one fund to another fund.
okay. All right, I yield my time.
Any other discussion? in the-
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Moore, my issue with this is that I get the MERS grant, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the 25,000, even though I don't support the process for the sign language. My issue is with the suits and settlement. That is one account that we have zero transparency on, even with the council. And we are spending millions of dollars without council approval in that account.
Point of information.
Go ahead. His point.
I do want to tell you that I agree with that, and Councilwoman Priestley has requested that. She requested at the budget hearing Monday.
Okay. We have been asking for that for years. And we still have zero accounting documents that have ever been shared out of that account. Why is that, sir? It's always, oh, I don't know, I'll look into it, or I'll do this and I'll do that. But no documents are ever shared out of that account.
I guess I can't answer that. That's, I prepare financial statements for, I can provide you some.
So I mean, I would like a financial statement and the check register out of that account.
Point of order, a request for information.
What's your request?
Does the speaker know we have to make an appointment to go view the check registry in the finance office, and no other municipalities has that but Flint?
That's an improper request for information.
Why? Why?
How
It's
is,
actually a point of
Well,
information.
does he know?
It doesn't matter if it's a question or not.
how is that how is that more improper than the seventh wards?
I asked, did he know? Because he wants to know about the check
Okay,
registry.
okay,
Gotta
anyways.
make an appointment.
Anyways,
Judy just
that's not
said
how,
no.
that's not how council works, and that's not how, being a co-equal branch of government works. So, I mean, that's my concern, is because we passed this, and then we're still, like, in 2 months from now, you're still not gonna share those documents. So that's, like, our only recourse is to hold these things up to get documents that we request. I mean, and Mr. Moore, and I'm not trying to be belligerent towards you, but we've been asking for a long time. Every time we have a suit or a settlement, we ask, how much is left in the account? And then how much did we spend on attorney fees? And every single time, it's, I don't know, I'll look into it, I'll get you the stuff, and yet we get nothing. So I have no problem accepting the state grants for the MERS, the $25,000. I have a hard time giving the legal department another $3 million when there's zero accountability and accounting transparency on that account. So can we get those documents by Monday?
Yes,
I'm sorry?
yes, I can provide those. by
Okay,
then.
you can share those documents with the clerk, and she will share those with us by Monday. The full accounting of that for the last 12 months, the check register and the balances of that account. That's a question, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
Can we get those documents by Monday?
I can easily get you the financial statements by Monday. That's not a, I have those. Those are,
Okay, what about the check register?
that I don't know, I'll see.
See, yeah, all right. I will not be supporting this today, and I'm not supporting it moving forward, because along with the ARPA dollars that all of my colleagues have had questions for, you won't share documents. And if you won't share the documents on the check register on who's getting paid out of this account, I think it's a huge red flag on what the administration is trying to hide. So I will yield.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
Mr. Moore, I don't even think it's you saying that we can't have the check registry. I asked last May, we're in May again. It's the city's funds. This city is not transparent. We just paid, how much did we spend for the rodeo? Again.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm thinking it was like $9,000, but I'd have to double check. I don't know for sure.
So when we spend these things, and just like did the YWCA come before us to be approved, the 25,000? The check that was just spent?
Right?
Pardon me?
I didn't hear you.
The YWCA just received a check for 25,000. Did that come before us?
No, I don't believe so.
I know it didn't. And so thank you. And here's the thing, then I have to make an appointment to sit in your office. Since the day of dawn, since the city of Flint began, our check registry has been online for public access, public information, so that you can view it. Take the account numbers out with the cyber attack. But the residents have a right to know where the money is going. The request is for me to sit there. So if I sit there, can I film myself doing it? Since I can't have a physical copy anymore, can I bring a camera crew? Can I bring a buddy? I mean, what are the guys? Because it's not in the charter. If you have nothing to hide, give it to us. I've said time and time, every meeting, take out the account numbers. But we have a right to know who you're spending money with without bringing it to council. These big checks are floating around and he's campaigning with them. He's getting them. You get a check, you get a check, you get a check. You want a check too? Everybody's getting a check. And it's not right. We're asking how the money is spent. That's our responsibility. That's what we were elected to do. And when we ask questions, a year to get the check registry, I don't know, do I have to sue the city again? They formed an illegal ARPA committee. I had to take it to court, me and Councilman Mace, and I won. I won because when we talk about how they changed the rules, and we have to take, and that was out of my money, and I didn't get monetarily paid, is sometimes you have to do what's right. And we are fighting to see and make sure that things are done right. And they're not. How much of this $281,000 that's spent on the Mays Center? Take care of the seniors, but I'm not going to allow you to lie on Hasselbrink. And yeah, he's still back there talking. Still talking. I mean, it's, to me, when we talk about this, how much money is spent, and we were told, oh no, it's ordinance number 3-0087, we can spend it. And that was probably one of that YWCA check. When you have, and that was emergency management. I want to say that because emergency management did not have to come before council. And what they could do is they sold off everything. I don't know if he's selling off everything or people, we're talking about, people talking about, is it corruption? But if you can spend $25,000 as many times as you want, do you see the $25,000 or approve it does it come to you each time?
If it's $25,000, I have to approve it, yes.
Do you approve it every time? Do you ever say, we need to really start taking this to council for accountability?
If it's, I look at, see if it meets our, the ordinance. There's certain things that do have to go to council. I flag those, they have to go to council. Other things, if they're inappropriate.
What about
I
the
don't
golf
think-
courses at $72,000? Did you approve that? We're paying someone to take care of the golf courses, and that you're skirting city council. We're paying someone instead of someone paying the city. It doesn't make sense. 2 golf courses, one with the bar and the banquet hall, Kersey Lake and Swartz Creek. It's bypassed for the last 3 years coming to city council. I've never seen a bar that stays in business that doesn't make money. Never. How do you have a bar with a liquor license and they haven't made any money? Any money came from the golf course yet with the bar?
I'm not aware of it, no.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I will be making my appointment to come sit in your office, and I'm gonna do it each day. I don't know who I speak to, but I'll be down there. I guess I'll pack a lunch because this is the way the city or this administration is doing business.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round?
I feel like that's progress. I'm glad you're going to go down there, and I hope that you pack enough
Excuse me,
lunch for.
did you-
I'm sorry,
excuse me.
I asked for the floor. I'm sorry. I asked for the floor.
I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. That's progress, Councilwoman Burns. I'm glad you're going to go down there. Glad you're going to pack. It's okay, Councilwoman Winfrey Carter. I'm glad you're going to pack a lunch and everything. I'm glad we have made some sort of headway here. I yield.
Not progress for me.
Thank you. Any
This
other
is
discussion in the
insanity.
first round? Excuse me, you do not have the floor. Anyone else have any discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round? Any discussion in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Moore, in regards to my objection to this resolution about the $3 million going to legal, if they have an ending balance of $19 million, that's just the general fund balance? That's not the balance for that line item, right?
That's just the general fund, yes. Well, I don't know which document you have, so I can't.
I'm looking at the resolution.
Okay. That's the change, that's not the fund.
The 19,746,000. You see it, Mr. Moore?
I see it. Um, I prepared the first three columns, the fourth column, I'm not sure where that came from.
Okay. Because I would assume that that would be the,
The overall fund balance, at the end of March, the overall fund balance for the general fund was approximately, I want to say, I believe it's like $40 million. That included about 12 million of ARPA.
so what is this, you having no idea what this last fourth column, where those numbers come from?
I didn't prepare those, so I can't speak to those.
Because like the same with the clerk's office, it's saying we have $22 million ending fund balance. So I'm like, if you're telling me we got $40 million and this is saying it's got 22, I'm confused on what that fourth column is.
Yeah, I don't recognize the numbers, so I can find out, or I don't think those numbers are right.
I'm sorry?
I don't think those numbers are correct.
Okay. Mr. Moore, I'm disappointed because this has your signature on it that you approved it and you don't know what those numbers are.
I prepared the first three columns, and those are the important ones.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round?
Yes, Madam
Go
Chair.
ahead.
Mr. Moore, as far as regarding the legal department's transfers, I want to find out how much has the city spent on outside legal
That's one of the
counsel?
questions I've asked.
You know what, Judy, I'm asking the question right now, and I have that right.
And I'm giving you a point of information.
I didn't, you didn't say point of
I
information.
don't need to as chair.
You don't need to be talking.
Was that just making stuff up?
That's in Robert's rules.
Yeah, take the floor.
Right. So, Mr. Moore, did you hear my question?
I did hear your question. That question was asked.
Mr. Moore, I'm asking the question right now.
No, I'm trying to answer you. That question was asked at the last budget hearing, and we're in the process of preparing that number. We'll have that for you shortly. Reply.
When will we have that?
I can have it by Monday if you'd like it.
Because
She
I
said
think
she
that,
don't-
I think that was asked before.
Okay.
You know what, I'm over it. I'm over it. I yield.
Any other discussion in the second round?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
Mr. Moore, how many lawsuits have we paid
How many-
out
how many?
in this past year?
I don't know off the top of my head. I have no idea.
Okay, so I know my two colleagues in the fourth and fifth asked that they ask you, was it just the dollar amount, or can you let us know how many, not just a sum? If you can tell us to break it down for each one with the lawsuits.
Yeah, we can get to a total for that. That's not hard.
So here's another thing, and maybe through you, Madam Chair, to the city attorney, city clerk. Has it been customary in the past that when lawsuits are paid in large lump sums, that they come to city council for approval? I know you've been with the city for over 10 years.
I think it depends on the type of
That was-
lawsuit.
Mr.
That
Moore,
was to the clerk.
City clerk.
Hold on.
Ms. Burns, yes, if it's something that the council agrees on in closed session through settlement, then they always prepare a resolution that you would then approve. So if it's a settlement for a lawsuit, council does approve those resolutions.
So a lot of these, what about attorney fees that are exorbitant? I mean, those are large amounts. The last check registry I looked at had hundreds of thousands of dollars outside of our legal department for legal fees. And those, we never see them.
To that, I can only speak to budgeted line items and whatever cost center or line item that's being taken out of that department. That's where those dollars would come from. And council, once you approve the budget and put those dollars into approve those line items, then it's at the discretion of that department head to then spend those monies. So those dollars don't necessarily come back before council every time.
Okay. Mr. Moore, when the city paid the $225,000 when the Michigan Supreme Court stated that Mayor Neely was not entitled to qualified immunity, and the city paid I believe five members paid that was technically his bill and not responsible. It was the responsibility of the city. Did that come out of the suits and settlement?
I have no idea. I'd have to look into that.
Okay, well, it was $225,000, which was a settlement with the fire chief and the mayor, and it came as he was denied qualified immunity, which means the city wasn't responsible, but the city, five members voted to pay that.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the second round? Any other discussion in the second round? Okay, this is the vote to send resolution 260145 to council.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
No.
Ms. Burns?
No.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
The vote is 5 yes, 4 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 4 no. That will be sent to council. That is the end of our resolutions. We now have a special order discussion item, safe streets and roads as requested by the Second Ward Councilman Liddell Lewis, and this is going to be for 15 minutes.
All of them in the second ward. I wouldn't give her any ammunition.
Go ahead, Dr. Lewis.
All right, thank you. All right, so anyone from administration, through you, Madam Chair, anyone from administration can come and speak to the Safe Streets and Roads, the SS4A. Okay, Mr. Edwards, so can you please tell us, what is the Safe Streets and Roads for All and where the city stands?
Okay, yes, Madam Councilwoman. This is a grant that was applied for, and it was to look at forward-looking in terms of ways of improving our streets, traffic, and so forth. And some of those ways are that we were going to look at, this is actually in the grant itself.
You said you were looking for what?
I'm sorry?
You said you were looking for what in the grant
I
itself?
said this information I'm sharing with you was actually in the grant application.
Okay.
And so one of the areas that we looked at was crash analysis, looking at our intersections throughout the city. These dollars would be helpful in creating studies and things that we can talk about, look at, and make some determination, future decision-making on ways to make intersections safer, at least the high crash intersections.
So when you say create studies, so who creates the studies? Row?
Oh, no, we would probably have to bid it out and look at some businesses that can provide that study information. And there are of course, sources the National Highway Traffic Safety Organization that puts out various studies about different things related to intersections and crashes. But
Okay,
we would have to we'd have to put it out
Okay,
and get
got
an
it.
organization. Yeah.
So when exactly were we awarded this grant?
Oh, we just applied for it. I don't believe we've actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. That's right. This was a discussion. We have to prepare a resolution to bring, and I haven't seen the award letter yet, but we're going to prepare a resolution once we get the award letter and bring it before council. But this was a discussion. My understanding is it was just an opportunity to be able to discuss what it was about.
Okay, so
It is forthcoming. It is forthcoming when we have received all of the proper paperwork, yes.
Okay, so you don't know if you were awarded the grant or not?
No, not at this juncture. No, I don't.
Okay, so the grant has yet to be awarded. And when it is awarded, you're going to do crash analysis. You're looking at how to keep the road safer. And from there, you are going to contract out organizations to conduct the studies. That's what you're saying?
Yes, we'll have some organization to help provide us with the information that we can use to enhance safety plans, traffic safety situations in the city. That's correct.
Okay, so do you know the maximum award for this grant?
I know what we applied. The award amount that we're looking for that this particular proposal was built on is $394,300.
Okay. 394. All right. And so will this 394,000 go exclusively to creating studies?
It'll go exclusively to look at, there were several other things. The money's coming from the Highway Safety Administration to talk about ways to make your local roads safer. So the money has to be applied towards looking at measures, steps, ways, strategies to make your city's roads safer.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That's all I have. So I yield my time.
Is there anyone else who'd like to discuss this item? Is there anyone else? Anyone else? All right, we will close out this item and I'll make a motion, entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved by the councilwoman in the 7th ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st ward. This is the roll call for adjournment.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat. Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer, Mr. Jarrett,
Yes.
Mr. Alamin, Dr. Lewis,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 9 yes, 4 no. We are adjourned at 6:17.
Just want to remind those who may want to speak during the legislative committee meeting that you can, if you've not already signed up to speak, that you can sign the speaker slips in the back. But we will be taking up if you wanted to continue speaking to that issue, you could. Yeah. All right, thank you.
I didn't ask her to bring this back. She can.
Martian, nah, I really didn't want to come on. Ain't nothing going on. I told y'all this morning everything was gonna pass. It's damn that time. It seemed like she should have, but it's either do or die. It seemed like they should have just voted that May stuff down. But I told y'all what the deal at. The deal back in business, baby. The deal notice is her only true gig. And she like this gig. She lose that seat, she'll lose her mind. And Cash Williams gonna keep a check. She ain't trying. She gonna keep that joker. Liddell gonna keep that check. She ain't trying nothing. She gonna keep that check. Liddell just wanted that little 30K. I hope the people recognize and see what's going on. But Neely be mad again once that subpoena. I told y'all that subpoena ain't going nowhere. They're gonna hold that out. That subpoena might come up around November 5th. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I can't really say that because he gonna have to pick between LaShawn and Liddell. And I've been hearing there's been a lot of her pastor been doing a lot. Liddell missed them press conferences, family. What's up, Kawana Mack? Thank everybody that's tapping in. Y'all hit that like button on you as you're coming in. That subpoena going with them recall sheets. I'll tell you. Man, this is a whole bunch of scandalous stuff. They push that stuff through there. The Liddell let it y'all know last week when she talked about it was about the money. Shit, them recall sheets and that subpoena in the same area at the top of his shelf. That's why Liddell back voting yes. She voting back yes. Got up there. Liddell is just, I'm telling you, some of this stuff is just downright scandalous. Being up there, downright scandalous. Yeah, it's gonna be some funny stuff going on. That clerk is sneaky, I tell you that much. Didn't even like Mays. And I'm sitting up here, boy, I tell you. I see why so many people walking away. Downright scandalous. Just scandalous. Nah, ain't nobody drinking. I'm high. Take your little funky Kool-Aid and go. Let me see. Listen, it's so easy to impress people. It's crazy. I mean, school adored by people. And y'all know why they don't want to show that registry. That registry about they don't want y'all to know who getting money. Mess around, see Judy in that registry. And you see that, and Candace is downright, man. She's delusional. You got to go down there down there and see the stuff. That is like the time y'all be taking pictures like hell. But he gonna probably play a game with that. Oh, you can't come in here with your camera crew. You shouldn't have to do all of this. This show you, Candace don't think it's co-equal branch, but I guess because she up in Lansing. Her mind's still in Lansing, but her body is here. Nah, JJ let
Madam Clerk, are you ready?
Let me get out. Peace.
I will be chairing this meeting as Councilman Alameen is feeling a bit under the weather and losing his voice. I've got some allergy issues happening, but we'll work through my voice.
He ain't lost shit.
The time is now 6:27 p.m. on Wednesday, May 6th. I hereby call this legislative committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Present.
Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Present.
Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 9 members present.
We have 9 members present. It's now time for the reading of the disorderly persons city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault, and battery on disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions? Madam Clerk, I think you set something on our desk.
Yes, there is an ordinance for your
Oh, I
consideration.
understand, yes.
And also, just for the record, I want to note that the city attorney did send over signed copies for ordinance 250414.1 on your agenda, 260133, as well as 260134. And I didn't make printed copies with her signatures on them, but we will.
But she has
move
signed
them
off on all of the
yes,
ordinances.
on those three, yes.
Thank you so much. I will go ahead and take this add-on ordinance. How should I treat this as far as numbering?
So, Madam Chair,
Mm-hmm.
you have, oh no, that one's, so that would be add-on number 1, because it's for this.
Just go ahead and
agenda.
say add-on number 1 and you will provide, okay, perfect. So this will be add-on number 1 and I will add that on without objection. It is now, are there any more requests for agenda changes and/or additions?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the second ward.
so looking at ordinance 260133.
Yes.
It didn't make it out of committee, so why is it on the?
Because no one postponed it indefinitely. All it meant was it didn't make it out of committee. It's still in committee. Are there any more requests for agenda changes and/or additions? Seeing as how there are no more requests for changes and/or additions, it is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committee must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the city council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only one speaking opportunity per speaker. First public speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is Sarah Scheitler,
I believe she left.
Second speaker, James Thompson.
He's declining.
Next speaker, Jim Richardson.
He is also declining. I believe they both spoke to what they wanted to speak to.
Okay, so we do not have any
So
additional
we do not have
speakers.
any public speakers, which means it is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the second ward.
Thank you. So I just want to say hello to my friend, Mr. T and Papa T. Yeah, definitely it's great to see you again. When you're not serving the scholars, you are always doing something amazing and supporting Flint. So just wanted to say hello and welcome to the council chambers. Yes.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak during council response, I will go ahead and take some time. I want to once again thank the members of the community who have stayed for this legislative committee to speak to the vacant property registry ordinance, because it is something that affects wards 1 through 9. It affects our entire city when we have properties that are vacant and or abandoned and we cannot get in contact with the owners. We do not have up-to-date or proper information for them. It ruins the way that neighborhoods are, it ruins the appeal of neighborhoods. It also ruins the appeal of commercial businesses. So for residential and commercial businesses, we should be able to get in contact with those who own property inside the city of Flint. So I do thank you for staying on. I thank you for your work on the ordinance. I do want to remind everyone that May is Love Your City Month, and to get involved at your curb, May 4th through the 8th, unlimited large item pickup. Place items curbside by 7 a.m. on your regular collection day. No, not accepted items include refrigerators, air conditioners, dehumidifiers, cast iron tubs, tires, shingles, demolition debris, plumbing, countertops, concrete, or eviction move-out cleanouts. May 11th through the 15th, unlimited bagged trash pickup. All trash must be bagged, weigh under 50 pounds, and be placed curbside by 7 a.m. on your regular collection day. May 18th through the 22nd, unlimited bundle brush pickup. Brush must be bundled with rope or twine, no wire or belts, no more than 4 feet long, 2 inches thick, and 50 pounds. What's not accepted? Trees, trunks, stumps, or logs. Place bundles curbside by 7 a.m. on your regular collection day. Free cleaning supplies for public spaces, including yard waste bags, garbage bags, and cotton work gloves to individuals, groups, or who are conducting cleanups. You can get more information from 810-767-9696. And with that said, that is my time. We will move on to a special presentation in order to receive information from and conduct a discussion with BCS zoning staff regarding ordinance number 260135. At this time, if they are available, we will have them come to the lectern, please.
Yeah, good evening, Council. So this isn't necessarily a presentation. However, we have Jason Ball here from Progressive Consulting. He is one of the people that authored this, and he can answer any questions that my zoning staff and myself did not, have the answers to. So without further ado, I'd like to bring.
Yeah, so he is going to, he can come forward. He's going to explain some of the questions that council had. Good evening. If you would introduce yourself and your title, please.
Thank you all for having me. My name is Jason Ball. I'm a senior planner with Progressive Companies. We're a architecture and engineering firm with offices in Grand Rapids and Detroit. And we were contracted by the city almost 18 months ago to do an analysis of parcels in the city and identify the things that were preventing development. In your packet is that analysis. It was focused on the Smith Village neighborhood at that time. Out of that analysis, we identified.
I'm going to ask you to pause really quickly. Yep. Madam Clerk, that clock should be going. It was 20 minutes. That's what the presentation was supposed to be. No, there we go. Thank you.
So out of that analysis, working with staff, we identified several issues with the zoning code that were preventing development of lots in Smith Village. And so the recommended amendments to the zoning ordinance are related to those issues. So allowing for more development of green neighborhood lots, as well as allowing for more flexibility in development of lots that are zoned traditional neighborhood. Some of the issues and challenges revolved around the minimum square footage required for each dwelling unit in both of those districts, as well as parking requirements, particularly for duplexes. The city's current zoning ordinance, if you have a duplex, requires 4 off-street parking spaces for the duplex, and it actually requires you to construct a small parking lot behind the duplex if you're going to have it be legal per city code. And so the changes you have in front of you address those issues, as well as cleaning up a few sort of nagging issues that staff had related to parking and loading spaces, and just some other minor issues that were in the same section of the ordinance. So I'm happy to answer any questions council had. I wasn't present at the previous meeting where those questions came up. So if there are concerns, I'm happy to try to address those the best I can.
Thank you. Is there anyone who would like the floor at this time, or we can wait until we get to the ordinance? It's completely up to you. Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you for being here tonight. I think why is it recommended that City of Flint be the only municipality in the state that allows duplexes without any additional scrutiny in every neighborhood? That is not in any other municipality, and we going to allow it in every neighborhood without additional scrutiny?
I don't believe that's true for every other municipality. There are many other cities that allow duplexes by right in their residential zoning districts.
Not in every, it's not in every residential zone. It's not. This would be a first in the state of Michigan.
I can't confirm whether that's true or not. I don't believe that it is, but I can't confirm with that. So the intent behind this was that we wanted to provide more options for people in adding housing choice in Flint neighborhoods. One of those is by allowing houses to be turned into duplexes. There are a couple of reasons behind that. A big one is that because in most Flint neighborhoods, it's so hard to get a mortgage because property values are so low, allowing development of duplexes gives people another way to earn some income off their property so they can reinvest in it, do things like replace a roof, do those kinds of improvements. So there's some resources to do that because they can't get a home equity loan.
So my issue with this is allowing someone to come in and build a Section 8 duplex in a, I'm going to say established neighborhood, and they're going to have different setbacks than the current, than their neighbors, right? So they're going to come in and potentially move a setback to build a new duplex substantially closer to the road than their neighbors. And then that duplex is now going to be parking in the road. So how is that a good thing for the city to take an existing neighborhood with an established neighborhood and allow a 20-foot setback versus a house that's next door that's maybe has a 40-foot setback, and now you're moving them 20 foot closer to box out potentially neighbors and then them parking in the road?
Yeah, so the city code has a couple of requirements that aren't just that setback. One of them is that if a house is built on a street that has a consistent setback or a building line, any new house has to match those other building lines, right?
Where does it say that? Because I didn't see that in the zoning.
That's not a part of this edit. It's part of a build to line requirement or a consistent frontage requirement.
So where do I
exists.
find that language?
I can't cite it for you specifically, but it's in the code, and we could find it for you if needed. I don't have it in front of me tonight, but that was one of the reasons for tweaking that setback requirement, was because it was actually larger than a lot of existing neighborhoods. And so we were requiring homes to actually build.
How soon can I get that, where that language is?
I don't have it at my fingertips tonight.
I can't, I'm sorry. Okay. Because I have not seen that language where you have to match a neighbor's setback anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's the intent there is, and I don't know this section off the top of my head, but the idea is there's a consistent building line, so you aren't doing, as you pointed out, you're not boxing somebody out next to you. The question about parking, right, is that we're trying to get away from this requirement that we have large spaces of off-street parking for duplexes. So the edit here was to provide lots more flexibility. If as council you're concerned about that, we wanted to pull that back. Certainly we could not allow for duplexes in every residential neighborhood. That's a choice you all can make, and that's an easy change. What we saw in the analysis was there's lots of things in the code that are really preventing new development. They're making it really hard. And so we were trying to really reduce those barriers and create opportunities for a lot of those vacant lots to come back online and add houses again in those neighborhoods.
Right. And I'm for redeveloping these empty lots that are in the neighborhoods.
Yep.
I just don't, if there's language that says you have to mirror the setback, then that may be something I can be more open to.
Point of information. This might help answer your question. We were sent that information earlier, and it does say that the proposed adjustments to setback rules apply equally to a single-family home or duplex. Then it also has the information where you can click on. It has a hyperlink for it. It's in your email. It came from Emily. Okay.
But there's what Emily is saying is, if you're building a house next or two empty lots, it doesn't say about matching existing. She's saying in that email that if you build a single family home, the setback is the same. I'm talking about existing homes that are next to these lots that they potentially want to build. Because we have a big problem with group homes.
I understand.
And in parking and traffic and everything else taking over residential neighborhoods. And to me, putting a duplex in one of our established neighborhoods is equivalent to a group home, meaning now there's congested park or traffic on the road. We got to worry about plowing. We got to worry about people blocking driveways. Like, because if you look at the standard lot size in a TN1 and a TN2, how do you come up with 4 parking spots in front of that house with one either taking up both sides of the street, or now you're parking in front of one of the neighbors' houses?
Yeah, so the changed requirements allow for the parking space to account for the 60 feet, up to 60 feet of frontage in front of each property, I believe is what the code says, right? So a typical parallel parking space is about 20 feet long. So each house, if you have a 60-foot wide lot, which is not all city lots are that wide, but that's a common lot width in the city, you've got roughly 3 parking spaces in front of your lot.
So, but aren't you saying that right now it's 4? So now where's that 4th going to be? It's going to be in front of a neighbor's house?
So we're the requirement, the amended standards require just 1 parking space for a duplex instead of 2. So we're allowing that on-street to make up for if there's not a space on the lot to be able to park or have a driveway, we can still develop that.
So
property.
is there any repercussions to if the duplex has 2 cars per unit? Now, are they rightfully able to park and park in front of neighbors now?
I mean, anybody can park on a public city street anytime they want, right? We don't regulate, the city doesn't regulate by permit who parks where. So, I mean, if you have family over, you could always use more parking spaces on a street that exists today. So we're not changing that necessarily. We're just not requiring that large portion of off-street parking be located on every lot in order for the lot to be developed. So as a duplex, right? Because we know there's a need for more options for housing in Flint, not just owner occupied. That was the reason behind that. I guess I would just emphasize that if you are concerned about the duplex provisions, there are other pieces of this that are really, really critical, particularly for the green neighborhood
That's my
changes.
biggest concern is the duplexes and the street parking and putting duplexes in established neighborhoods, because to me, that's akin to a group home.
Yeah, so
And just the parking and the chaos that brings.
Sure, I appreciate that concern. I think we could have a conversation about pros and cons of that. I would say the really meat of this and what's so important about it is freeing up those green neighborhood lots and even the TN1 lots for development, whether for duplex or otherwise. So if those provisions are a concern, I don't think it hurts to set those aside and do some of the others, right? The minimum standard of 30,000 square feet for a dwelling unit.
No,
in a
I 100%
neighborhood.
agree with all of that.
What's that?
I agree with all,
Yeah,
changing all the square footage, all of that.
So I
Yeah,
guess
go
what I'm
ahead.
trying to say is like, I hear what you're saying, and I think there's a good conversation to have there. I would hate to hold up those other changes for those, just because the impact citywide on the green neighborhood changes.
I
is
agree,
really-
and I don't have any other
Yeah.
issues with that.
So-
But you also mentioned that the standard city lot is now, or 60 feet, but this changes it to 40 and allows a duplex on a 40-foot lot. So now you're talking a duplex on a 40-foot lot, and all of that brings with the parking situation too. So like, if it's already an established zoning, why are we changing the lot size requirements on, because green zone to me is a new one, and that's really our opportunity to build and expand.
Mhm.
So why are we changing lot sizes for existing lots in other established neighborhoods?
Yeah, so the changes to TN1 for those minimum lot sizes were, again, based on that analysis of Smith Village and looking at some other places where properties were already zoned that way, where because of those minimum lot widths, there were properties that could be split to provide more housing units, but they couldn't be because there wasn't quite enough space. Also, it was based on just sort of prevailing width. So 60 feet was the standard that we came up with for space for parking. Flint lots are all over the place depending on their neighborhood. There's lots of different widths, right? but that 60-foot width was a common one that we developed. 40-foot's not saying that all lots are going to be that way, just new ones that are.
No, but I
created,
look
right?
at that and I say, okay, now there's an empty lot in the 7th Ward over at Court
Sure.
Street or wherever else, or off of Miller Road where the TN1s are.
Mhm.
Now we're saying, okay, you have a lot, the owner moves out, whatever else, the new owner comes in and now that house, or it's maybe it's an empty lot. Now they divide it and now they can put two lots and two houses that don't match the rest of the neighborhood.
I mean, I don't know that I'd say don't match the rest of the neighborhood, but yes to 2 lots and 2 houses. So there are other standards in here. And again, like we can get into those development in existing neighborhoods. I think if it's a really good conversation to have, I guess as council, as you all are considering this, I would encourage you to separate out the green neighborhood changes from the traditional neighborhood changes then if you have concerns, because the green neighborhood changes are really impactful and should move. And if there's more nuance that needs to happen with traditional neighborhood changes, we can work on those and bring them back to you. I would just.
So we were told we can't make those changes. We have to send it back to the planning commission. So,
Okay.
I mean,
I guess I would defer to
Yeah.
your attorney on that process. My understanding is that council's legislative body can make those changes to ordinance and move it forward, but I'm not an attorney.
yeah. I'll yield to my other colleagues, but that duplexes in established neighborhoods and the on-street parking and potentially the setbacks, but if you're saying there's language that I haven't seen, I'd be open to listening to that, but I've addressed my concerns with you. So if we're able to make those changes, that would be news to me, but I was told we had to send it back. So I'll yield to my other colleagues for their opinions. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like the floor?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Burns.
Thank you. There are a couple things, just a couple questions. So one of the concerns, we talk about established neighborhoods where you can put a duplex, and some which are, they've been stabilized, where people have, they've maintained. Then we've got areas which have been basically almost decimated, where you can get a block, where it's completely empty. And so one of the questions you said, we could revitalize where we can put duplexes, because some neighborhoods, they say, well, if people are living there, they have to burn down or be demolished to, construct a new property, which could then be a duplex. And when we talk about continuity of a neighborhood, there's some neighborhoods who will not want a duplex. The gravel driveway option, I absolutely don't like that. I don't like as that being an option, because in some established areas, you have people who have brick driveways. You have people who have cement stamp driveways. And then if you have someone with a gravel driveway, it's very close to almost like a dirt driveway. And so I know it was at a cost savings, but if we when we look at some of the wards, the consistency and what the driveways are, to be able to have the opportunity, and it's really doing the work, may not affect us for 5, 10, 20, or 30 years. I think we need to be careful with adding that. I don't think anyone and I went to Pierce School, and then my friends lived over there, and I went to Whittier and Central. I don't think anyone would want to see a gravel driveway next door to them. I don't think that they would. And other parts of the city also. But the TN1 and TN2 green zone, those are areas where we have the utilities there, we have the infrastructure that's there, the power, the sewer, and everything. It's really like a plug and play. Build housing, and then we can establish neighborhoods. Smith Village was a decimated area. It was an older neighborhood. Across the street is University Park, and University Park acts. It has an HOA, so there are standards. You have to have certain square footage. You have to have a certain type of garage. You have several different, I think 7 elevations of homes. And so I don't think anyone would want a duplex with a gravel driveway next to their house over there. Now, Smith Village has had, and my best friend lives over there, and someone else lives over We know people live there, but it was a good opportunity with those homes. But there was really not, the homes were old. They're over that area, they're probably 90 to 100 years old in Smith Village. So that created a good opportunity. I like seeing new housing in areas where you're free just to expand and take in established neighborhoods that it may be a possibility. Who's going to stop someone from saying, hey, I'm going to get this lot, I'm going to put a duplex with a gravel driveway. So I think, and I like, and we need new housing, that I agree on. I agree that having an opportunity to afford new housing, but I think when we look at where we're putting it creates a great opportunity in areas that you can literally get a whole block. You can get a block or 2 or 3 in some areas. So, are we, if we geared it to those certain areas where we need revitalization, and we have many, third ward is our largest ward per, footage, a mile, however we want it's measured. And that'll be a great, and it's access to highways. If we're really talking about how do we grow, I'm going to listen to my colleagues and see, but a lot of these questions were important. The parking, we would have to change our ordinance. You cannot park on this Flint City Street for more than 24 hours. If you have a family with the husband and wife work, and then if the kids are living at home because everything's high, you got 3 vehicles. So somebody's going to have to park on the street. So we would have to amend our parking ordinance to allow for more cars. So, that ordinance has not been repealed, and most people who are, couples or children have more than one vehicle. So there are some things. I like having new housing, but where we're putting it, we have to be respectful to neighborhoods where there's housing, consistent housing. And I've stated before, it took me 2 years to find a house in Saginaw, the city of Saginaw, because the housing was just, I don't know who did it, but there wasn't consistency. And I think we owe it to our residents to make sure we do that work up front, that we preserve, and for consistency. And if we're putting duplexes like Smith Village, we have a combination of housing. And that's because in that 5th ward, there was nothing that was there. And what was there needed a bulldozer. So I want to listen to my colleagues and see, but I do agree. And at TN1, I think with Councilman Pfeiffer, TN2, I think we need to maybe exclude certain areas where they're populated, neighborhoods are consistent, homeowners made the decision to say, hey, we're staying, and they kept their properties up, and they stayed with the city because they actually love Flint. So I think we have to consider that. I yield the floor. Sorry, it's only 12 seconds left.
All righty, we'll go ahead and end this presentation. We have a whole ordinance.
Somebody else want to speak?
We have another chance to speak to it during the actual resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going ahead and close out this special discussion item. Special presentation. We will move on to the consent agenda. What happened? Did she say my name? Oh, we'll move on. We'll move on to the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the body for the consent agenda? What is the pleasure of the body? I need a motion for the consent agenda. I need a motion for the consent agenda. There's a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second? Thank you. Are there separations? It's been moved and properly supported by the councilman in the 8th ward. I'm sorry. Are there any separations? All right, there is completely separated. Moving on to ordinance 250414.1-T, which is the code amendment ordinance chapter 35, which is personnel, article 5, working conditions. What is the pleasure of the body? Councilman in the first ward. There's a motion to move ordinance 250414.1-T to council. Is there support? I will support it. Is there discussion? Councilwoman in the fourth ward.
Once again, I'm just going to reiterate the fact that I will not vote for this until we have contracts across the board. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else in the first round of
Madam Chair.
discussion? Councilman Pfeiffer.
I think last time, Madam Clerk, through you, Chair to Madam Clerk, we asked a referral from the attorney to review this, to look at union contracts. And if there was a conflict with this and the union contracts, did we receive anything back from the attorney's office?
No, well, the only thing that I have is the signed copy. That's what she forwarded today.
But that's just approved a form signed, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. I think, Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask that we get something from the city attorney stating that this doesn't conflict with any union contracts. If it doesn't, I will support it. But if we can't get any answers, are you aware of it or no? Madam Clerk, Madam Chair, through you to the city attorney, are you aware of if this conflicts with any contracts? Can you speak into the microphone?
Okay. Sorry. Currently, there is only one union with a ratified contract. And for that contract, we would have to do a memorandum of understanding to add those holidays to their contract. As far as the other ones, if this resolution is approved, the contract, these days will be added into their current negotiations. So there is not, there wouldn't be a conflict.
Okay, so even though there's only one that's ratified, they're still working under the existing contract, right? The ones that's not ratified?
Well, they're currently negotiating right now. If they're, the only Good Friday's passed, it won't affect anybody.
Right,
So the only thing that we're working up to is the day after Thanksgiving.
sure.
So it won't, if need be, then they'll be given the day. No one will be slighted and not given the holiday. So if they're all in negotiations, but basically nobody has a contract, they're working under the old one. So hopefully before the end of the year, before that time, they'll all be done.
Is it 1,600 or 1,799 that's currently ratified?
Now, I believe, and don't hold me to this, which one is the largest one?
1,600.
So it's not the largest one that has ratified.
1,799 is?
So, so there would be no conflict, there wouldn't be any issues with everyone with this rolling into their contracts.
Okay. Madam, so would it be, because normally ordinances, Madam Chair, through you to the city attorney again, normally ordinances don't necessarily come before us with direct costs. So wouldn't we need to have this with a budget amendment if we are proposing an ordinance that costs money?
I know, that's something I would have to research, but I don't believe, because people they're gonna get paid whether they work or not. So I don't believe it would be a budget issue, but I'd have to check on that because they're not gonna get, maybe police would get
overtime if it's a
Well,
holiday.
the police
So,
work all these days
That's what
anyways. but
that's what
so
I'm
that-
saying.
yeah.
So it's just, it's a wash. It would be just a day off. I don't believe there's a budget hit.
Well, so the finance director said it was gonna cost us $400,000, $440,000.
Well, then you probably should talk to him because I am
Okay.
not the finance guru.
I thought you were. You raised your hand for
No,
it.
no, I didn't.
I yield.
Is there anyone else who would like to have discussion in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the sixth ward.
is Mr. Moore here?
No, he's
gone.
not.
Okay, so one thing I will say, the holidays should have lined up a long time ago. If you have business to do at the city, the counties does not line up, which makes no sense. Because sometimes you may have to do business at the city and then go over to the county, and the holidays do not line up. Mr. Edwards, do you, Madam Chair, through Mr. Edwards?
Mr. Edwards, if you'd like to join us at the lectern.
Mr. Edwards, I believe and want to make sure that that figure is right with lining up the holidays in regards to where we'll be on, I think we'll line up with the state too. I know we will with the, not with the state. Look, they shaking their heads vigorously. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, look, even you, Mr. Edwards, is
Yeah,
like,
well, I was there.
Because we all
I know
work for
you
the
were, I
state.
know you two were there. And you too. So who will we be lining up with? I believe with the county, right?
I'm not sure of who we align up with, but I would address one thing that was mentioned about cost, because while this negotiation piece is going on, this is about them looking at, meaning the labor agreements, them looking at whether they have so many holidays, they may substitute this holiday to take out something else. So they actually may. The possibility is there that they may not have any additional ones. When you talk about relevant cost, it may be the same number when they finish negotiations.
So with this, basically, you're saying that this will be used as a negotiation.
Most definitely.
And so what the intent of this were from the council member who presented it was they deserve it, and get it done and don't wait for a negotiation. And so is the cost, is the cost 400,000?
I don't,
That was the
I don't
figure
know
that it took
exactly
Mr.
what-
Moore about 4 months to give us. That it was going to be 400,000.
I don't know what the cost would be. That could be correct, but I'm just saying it may substitute for one of the days.
So if we vote on this, because some things just go down to administration and never get signed, we get 5 votes tonight. Will this be signed, or do you know, will it be signed off by the mayor?
I do not know with absolute certainty, no.
So, okay. So this is not approved by the mayor?
I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that
Or
you
this
asked me whether he
administration.
would sign it.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you that I don't absolutely know his position for or against.
If I may, ordinances aren't signed by the mayor or the clerk until after they are adopted by the council.
Okay,
So-
I'm talking after.
Yes, normally the mayor will sign after.
What I'm
Sometimes he
saying
signs
is,
before.
I don't want to go down there to sit on that shelf that's 4 shelves down after it has been signed. I mean, voted on.
Once council adopts it, it would still be official document.
Okay.
It would still be adopted.
So can they get this holiday pay? I don't want to stop the holiday. I mean, because we're doing something and saying, and it should line up. So, Mr. Moore isn't here to answer any questions. Through you, Madam Chair, to Attorney Darrow. So you had worked on this, so you stating it is no cost, because I couldn't really hear you in your mic. I don't think your mic was on at first.
Oh, no.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't, in my mind, but I'm not the finance guru, so I am going to defer that to the guru. It's just days to me, but I'm just an attorney. So I
Okay.
can't tell you about the financial impact. I can tell you we'd be happy.
Okay, so he did give us 400,000, and he was pretty firm with that. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in the first round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else, I'd like to take my time. Well, first I would like to say to all of the city employees, in recognition of Public Service Recognition Week, which happens to be this week, it would be an honor for us to get this passed for you on this week in which we are recognizing you and all of the work that you do in the city. We've said time and time again that we cannot pay you comparable wages as we should. We can't do for you what we wish we could do for you. Here's our opportunity to put our vote and our power and our authority where our words are. So interesting that we're worried about whether or not the mayor will sign off on something like this. Isn't a co-equal branch of government. Like, we are not the lawmaking body of this. Like, this is us. We are the ones who make the decisions. I can't make you vote or not vote for something. That's a choice that will be all on you. I'm simply saying that we have the authority to do this, that PTO has to be paid out regardless, that the days that they work have to be paid out regardless on those days. They are not losing, missing, or wasting, or adding anything else. I think the only other caveat may possibly be police. You've asked if the unions wanted it. I've told you the unions wanted it. I told you that there was no conflict. These are things that I've been saying for the last 5 months. And so I can't help it if I've expressed several times my passion for the fact that this is our opportunity. And Councilwoman Burns, like you have stated time and time again, we are not even on schedule with the other governmental entities. Everyone else, they have given their employees this time. Everyone else's employees are at home. Ours are sitting in City Hall in a closed building where no business is able to be handled by the public, while everyone else, every other governmental entity, has allowed their staff, their employees, their workers to be at home. So in recognition of Public Service Recognition Week, I want to extend my sincere thanks to each and every employee who works for the city of Flint for your service to our community. I want to thank you. I cannot thank you enough. One of the best ways that I can use to thank you right now would be with my vote on today. Is I will be voting to move this along. I think we've had all the questions answered we need answered. I do think it is unfair that a statement was made that I said pass it no matter what. That's not true. I've been trying to do this for 5 months. I have been trying to help everyone understand that this was not something thrown together. This is something well thought out. This was something well discussed and a lot of conversation has taken place with all of the people in which you have questions concerning the union they want these days. They want them. The employees who are non-union, because we have to be clear, while I am 1000% pro-union and I love the union and all the work that they do here at the city, there are a lot of workers who are non-union who also want this. This is our opportunity. And what better week than Public Service Recognition Week to say, hey, employees, we recognize you. We recognize the work that you're doing. We appreciate you. We understand that around this county, these days are given off. Around the state, these days are given off to other employees that work for governmental entities. And so this is our opportunity to say, we think you should have them off as well. Because again, council and mayor can decide that on the Friday before Easter Resurrection Sunday, we are not coming in and we will still be paid. Council can decide the Friday after Thanksgiving, we are not coming in and we will still be paid. And so I would offer the caveat, if we're not comfortable and we're worried about money and possibly costing something, that on those days council doesn't get paid. I yield.
Madam Chair.
In the round two, Councilman Pfeiffer, go ahead.
Through you to Mr. Edwards. Mr. Edwards, how are those holidays handled now? So obviously City Hall is closed there. The employees are required to take PTO?
No, the way that it was The way that it was indicated is that the mayor closed up our section, because all of City Hall wasn't closed, but he closed up the portion of City Hall that were under the control of administration. And then he indicated that if workers wanted to have that time, that they could use their PTO as a part of that.
So they still come in on these days?
Yeah, people were here, including myself.
Okay. How many people take PTO on those days? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know of. It's quite a few. It's quite a few that are absent on that day.
So, because Councilwoman in the 7th Ward, when she brought up the PTO, it's like, okay, now if we pass this, we're basically giving every employee that took these days as PTO, now we're potentially giving them 16 extra hours of PTO, correct? To use somewhere else. So if they normally would have taken PTO on these days, now we're giving them paid these days. Now the city has to absorb those 16 hours of PTO of lost productivity somewhere else, right?
Well,
And I think that's where the cost is coming from.
the worker ultimately earns that PTO.
Sure.
So what happens is, no, you're not double paying. They save that PTO that they have already earned because
No,
now
I'm saying the majority of the folks that took the PTO days on these 2 days, right? They expended 16 hours of PTO, correct?
for you talking about. I thought we were just talking about the Good Friday holiday.
Yeah. The Good Friday and the Thanksgiving.
Okay.
The folks that take PTO on those 2 days, they're expending 16 hours of PTO to take on those 2 days.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
And I'm saying is, if this passes and that's how the cost is generated, now we have to absorb those 16 hours of lost productivity when they take those PTO days on a different day now, because their PTO bank is still accumulating. So now instead of taking 16 hours of PTO for those 2 days, now the city has lost productivity somewhere else on 16 hours on top of paying these 2 days.
I
Follow me?
I follow, but I disagree because
Okay.
the 2 PTO days that they've already earned, it really doesn't matter where they take them. They've earned it and we have to pay it. Whether you take it on a vacation during the
No,
summer.
I 100% agree with
right.
that. I'm saying is now we are basically giving them 16 hours in the bank that they would have normally used on these days to spend somewhere else, right?
Ultimately, yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
So now,
But it's not costing us anymore, though. That's what I'm getting at. I thought you were
100%
talking
it is,
about the
because
cost.
100% it is, because we're paying these days instead of coming out of their PTO, now we're paying them salary. So that's where the cost is coming from. There's absolutely.
Oh, that was the cost that, okay, but
That's the
the cost that was, right.
433,000.
That's the cost that always
That's what I'm
was
talking about.
already presented.
So now we have potentially $433,000 of extra expense and lost productivity somewhere else throughout the year on those 2 days. Because
I think I understand where you're going with it, but I still would have to say that those are 2 days that are earned by the employee.
No,
for taking-
I don't,
yeah.
we're not
That's-
disputing that. I
right.
don't know that you're following me. I'm saying they would, if they didn't take PTO, they'd be productive on these days, right?
That's correct.
So now we're giving them these days, so now we have lost productivity on some other day that now they can take PTO. I may be confusing, but in my head, I'm coming out straight. I'm just saying that that's where the cost is coming from. Now we have 16 hours of PTO that we're front loading and giving them to spend somewhere else. And I think that's where the $433,000 is coming from. So
I think we've already recognized, to the best of my understanding in this situation, I think we've already recognized financially what the cost would be for those 2 days.
yeah, the 433,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Mr. Pfeiffer, I totally 100% understood where you're coming from. And I don't know if Mr. Edwards got that point.
I totally understand the point. I just didn't
Okay,
necessarily
I just
agree
wanted
with
to make
it.
sure because, that's where the cost is that they still have those 16 hours that they can use another time. And so we still have to pay those out. And that's all that I wanted to just make sure that that was clear because I totally understood where he was coming from on that.
But I would
And-
ask to you, how is that any different than me taking my 2 days at any time during the year? How
Well,
would that be?
because you're now getting you're getting 2 paid holidays.
And we accounted
And
for
then you
that with
still,
the addition.
and you still have those, so you got 16 hours that you're getting as an
Right.
extra holiday. So you got these 16 hours that you can use elsewhere. So you're gaining 2 days off, but you still have the same amount of time to use elsewhere. Instead of using that 8 hours for PTO for Good Friday, you're getting that paid. Now I can use that 8 hours for my birthday or my
got
husband's
it.
birthday, my anniversary, whatever, to give birth, whatever it takes. So I just wanted to make sure that that was understood. Maybe,
Understood.
okay, thank you.
Is
I
there
didn't-
anyone else in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Burns.
So we're looking at 2 days off that Good Friday, and Flint is almost 400 churches. So they're not coming in. I mean, come on. And we're looking at the day after Thanksgiving. People, that's family time.
Come on, madam.
And people aren't really here. They're just not. And so I see we're split on this. Those are the 2 holidays that we're actually looking at, that there is no business, and most people are out of, most traveled holiday is the day after Thanksgiving anyway, or during that holiday, and which is technically shop till you drop Friday. So, I mean, we need to line up. They're not even open across. We're not even really, do they answer the phones or are they just here? I mean, look, I'm gonna take that as a no. Right, right. I mean, so, and I'm listening to my colleagues. Personally, I am supporting this. I'm supporting it because family matters. Good Friday should be off. People work more than a 40-hour work week. Thanksgiving, you should be able to, that Friday, be home after you ate turkey, football, met your cousins and your aunties, and you want to be home. You want to be home. And family matters, especially in this day and age. And given time to families, we probably need more family time to be more balanced. We're not doing any business. We're not doing anything that we can't do on Monday. And it's hard coming in on Monday. And you got Black Friday. You got Cyber Monday though, but you can do that while you're at work on your lunch break and you can shop. So I'm good. I learned how to do Cyber Monday. So I am supporting this because of family value. Let people be home. And we need to, when we talk about governing, we cannot forget about what keeps us balanced. And I told Candace, Councilwoman in the 7th Ward last week, that I was supporting and throughout it, because it's silly to me. We should have lined up, and I don't know how many more days that the state have off, but no, we ain't getting all that. Let the bargaining agreement work on that, the other holidays. But this one, I am going to support. Let people be home with their families. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the second round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else in the second round of discussion, I will go ahead and take my time. I do want to just take the time to thank my colleagues who are going to stand in support of this. This was introduced and this wasn't something rushed or not thought through. But this was something after just seeing how hard all of the employees in the city work, all of the work that they do, knowing that we are not currently in a position to offer them the wages we think they should be offered. This is a gesture to say, we see the work that you're doing, we appreciate the work that you're doing, we thank you for showing up for our city, good, bad, good times, bad times. I mean, we have to think about the fact that we've had employees who stayed through the water crisis and they continue to work here. We've had employees who have had opportunities to go and work at other municipalities with the experience that they've gained here, because we know one of the things that sometimes happen is that when people come to Flint and other municipalities here that they have the experience working in Flint, they will try and snatch them up because they feel like, hey, Flint is a place where you go and you learn and you pick up those skill levels and you have that grit and that tenacity and you stay. And so that's something that they want to see in their communities. So I want to thank all of the workers here at City Hall for keeping that tenacity and that grit and just the dedication in working here in our community. We are trying our best to build and make this somewhere that, you know, we can one day pay you what you are worth. But just in the meantime, for hanging with us, thank you. And then also, again, like Councilwoman Burns said, being able to just line up with the county and line up with the state and making sure that we are just giving people that time with their family. Councilwoman Burns, I appreciate you saying that, because that is really important, that we give the workers the time to be with their families. At this time, I will go ahead and yield my time, and this is the roll call vote for Ordinance 250414.1-T, which is the Code Amendment Ordinance, Chapter 35, Personnel, Article 5, Working Conditions. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley? Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Doing that again.
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 8 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 8 yes, 1 no. This resolution passed, this ordinance passes to council. Thank you, colleagues. Moving on to ordinance 260133, which is Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 31, General Offenses. What is the
Point of
pleasure?
order.
Yes.
Is this reintroduced?
No, so as I explained to Councilwoman in the second ward, because she asked herself, when I spoke with the clerk, she said that we did not postpone it indefinitely. We let it sit here. And I thought if it failed, but she said no. Go ahead,
If
Madam
people-
Clerk.
Generally.
Stuff fails all the time and it drops off.
So in committees, the motion was to move it to council. It failed to move to council, so it was still in committees. Normally, you will do a second motion or a motion to postpone indefinitely. If it had been in council and it failed one time, then we would consider it as failed. But the motion was to move it to council. It didn't move, therefore it's still in committees.
You're suspect on that one. You're suspect on that one.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Priestley.
I make a motion to postpone indefinitely 260133.
There's a motion to postpone indefinitely 260133. Is there support?
I'll support that
Moved
motion.
and supported by the councilwoman in the fifth ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis?
No.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? The vote is 7 yes, 2 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 2 no. That item has been postponed indefinitely. Moving on to Resolution 260134, Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 11, Building Code. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the fourth ward.
motion to send to council.
There's a motion to send to council. Is there support? I believe it was supported by the councilman in the first ward. Thank you. Is there discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the eighth ward.
I appreciate everyone coming to speak on this. My my issue with this is this fines taxpayers, even though they may have not keep up with their property, but they're still paying taxes on it, but it brings zero accountability to our biggest landowner in the county, and that's a land bank. They don't keep up with their properties. So how can we fine one person on a block that isn't holding up their end of the deal, but there's 15 land bank properties that aren't holding up their end of the deal? So that's my issue with this. And I just think that, and obviously if they're still a landowner, they're paying their taxes. And how can we, as a community, saying, we're going to punish you for paying your taxes, but allow the land bank to have 25 dilapidated buildings right next to that one? That's my issue. And I don't know that we have the legislative authority to fix that, but I don't know that I can vote to punish someone for, and they're not abandoning their property because if they're still paying their taxes, but if they're not paying their taxes, then it goes to the land bank. So now we're going to fine someone who's paying their taxes to potentially not pay their taxes to go to the land bank. Like, it's a catch-22. And I know that there's an issue of outside, investors or whatever else coming in and buying properties, but they're paying their taxes that pay for services they're not using. But it's I don't know how to better put this, but it's if we didn't have a land bank problem that has 37,000 properties in the city that they mow once a year, that they just sit there and let rot. To me, that's my biggest hangup, is now we're going to potentially force a fine on someone to maybe help that cycle, to make it go to the land bank, to even be more dilapidated. Because that's what we'd probably be doing, is now we're going to potentially place liens on their property for fines, and we're going to speed up that process for foreclosure to make it go to land bank to sit for a decade. That's my problem. So I agree that there's an issue. I'm not sure that this ordinance and placing fines and putting more stress on our building department because they are understaffed fixes the problem. That's my hang up on this. I'll yield, but I think that, one, we don't have the capacity to enforce this, and two, we're fining people while letting someone else get away with robbery in our neighborhoods. So that's my issue.
Thank you.
I yield.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the first round?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the fourth ward.
like I said last time we discussed this ordinance, is that I did go through this with Mr. Richardson and gave him an example of someone, and I'm going to use my street only because I know the history, because I've lived there for 38 years. There has never been anyone at this one property on my street since I moved there. Property taxes were paid. House was vacant. They had an issue because the roof wasn't done correctly when they re-roofed it. People own a strip mall in Swartz Creek. Guess what? They didn't pay their taxes. And now it's been burned out. And now it's at the county, heading towards the land bank. They paid taxes for 35 years. There's also another property, although this is not the same. It's not a vacant property. That's dilapidated, burnt down. Taxes are paid on it. And it's sitting there with rubble on it. That's another issue. But this is something that we need to hold these people accountable. There is another property in my ward that I get calls on probably once a week where the parents have died The estate all goes to the daughter. It's vacant. But there's squatters in it. What can you do about the squatters? This helps prevent that by making them accountable for that situation. These squatters are sitting there selling drugs and creating a mess of the property. Homeowner doesn't care. What does it cost them? What does it cost them to let them sit there? The house isn't worth anything anymore anyways. So I'm supportive of this ordinance 100%.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. Through you to Attorney Darrow. There was, in the Building and Permit Department, we know that there is an enforcement issue, but they had sued with attaching the fees, and I believe it went to the Michigan State Supreme Court. And I think it's back in there, but he won. Carter, somebody, Lampson, Carter, I think Carter Landon, and he had won. Can we impose fees on this? Okay. Okay. And I know we went over this last week. What is it? How long do they have to be out of the home if it's considered to be vacant? 60 days? Is it 60 days? So people go to Florida and people go to Vegas and they will do like I'll live here in Michigan for the summer months, just like up north. Snowbirds. And so what if you have a snowbird? And we have people who live up north, Grayling. They'll live up in, oh my gosh, Tittabawassee, Oscoda, and they'll come back. So if 60 days, that amount of time is not a fair amount of time because people do that. They do it. They don't stay in their homes the full time. I have a cousin. Her mother stays with her around the corner most of the time because she's elderly. She still keeps her house up. She doesn't have water usage, but she's at her mom's house. So I think the amount of time that a home is vacant, I think we need to look at that. Do we have, through you, Madam Chair, to Attorney Darrow, is there any other municipalities that have similar laws like this, like we're enforcing? Because 60 days is short. People go to Florida, and this last winter, they probably should have stayed for the entire 6 to 7 months when it got cold. Yeah, thank you, because Michigan is known to have people who live in two different homes. I did it. I lived in Chicago and lived here, and I did that for almost 20 years. And so you pay for grass cutting for both, and you do what you have to do. But I don't know that, I think we need to look to make sure with that Carter Landon, because it went to the Michigan Supreme Court, and I believe he won the first time, and that's with the fees, and it's back in there. Do you know, Attorney Darrow, if it's back in court or out of court? Do we know? Okay. So was this approved was it vetted through the legal department?
It was actually drafted with the legal department, correct?
Did they sign off on it?
They drafted it, correct.
Okay, but we gotta wait for questions still. And these are pertinent questions. We're talking with the Carter Landon, and that is a case that went to Michigan Supreme Court. And when you work with the landlords, and I don't like the homes being bought in bundles. I don't like that. I don't like, and I was in Chicago going back with both, and we had in Chicago investors who were in Japan and Canada, who were buying up the properties. I know that we had a big bulk that was sold to an investor in Florida. But I think that this language needs to be, and we got questions for the legal department that the legal attorney Darrell stated. Yeah, she just did. She just stated she didn't know, and she would have to get back with us, because those are not staying in your home for 60 days is a very short amount of time. You're not required to be in your home every day. I mean, people don't do that. I know people go to Vegas. Retirees retire and have a second home. They do that. I mean, they do that. So how do we exclude or put language when it's a home to where we're really saying we want to protect those who keep their home in Michigan and want to do Vegas or up north or
Thank
wherever?
you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Seeing as how,
Miss-
oh,
Thank you.
go ahead, Councilwoman in the second ward.
Thank you. So just wanted to just touch on a few things coming from the second ward perspective. You know, when we start talking about the land bank, we got to be clear that the land bank does the city a favor by taking those properties. Here, I never knew the process. And when I learned the process, that we basically, when the house goes into foreclosure, the house that do not get sold at the auction, it comes back to the city. So the city, we can do one or two things. We can keep the properties, or we can turn them over to the land bank and make it their responsibility. So for basically every year that I've been here, we've given the land bank properties, not just properties, but parcels that a lot of parcels that no one wanted. You know, I pointed out a home that currently the land bank is selling, and it's a very nice house. And I asked my colleagues to preserve it, and they decided not to. So the land bank is able to make a profit off of this house they currently have going up. But I digress from that point. My point is, unfortunately, the land bank, they take what we don't want, and then they must make do with the scarce resources that they have. Now, lucky for us that the administration at the land bank, they were able to give us 4 cuts. They went through the entire city 4 times last year, and that's record setting, and that's good. That's good business. So I don't want to diminish the good thing that the land bank is doing, because they take a lot off of our plate. Now, I would like to challenge the city and my colleagues. Stop giving them property. They have enough to deal with, so we can maintain those properties. And when we maintain them, then we're responsible. And so when people complain about the beat back properties, the burnt out property, then we can just say, yeah, we own that. So it'll be on us. So I don't want to demonize the land bank for doing us a favor, because we put those properties in their lap. You know, I have several properties in the second ward that people from Florida own, people from California own, never tended to. A lot of them didn't even pay their property taxes. They don't respect the neighborhood enough to pay their property taxes, but they still have ownership. And the house looked like hell. But that's where we call home. And so this ordinance is preventing that. It's bringing accountability and responsibility. Now, I wish that the city was balanced and that it looked like a lot of the more well-to-do, but no, a lot of parts in the second ward look like trash. We have blighted blocks where people go to dump. We have high grass. We have homes that look like if you just blow your breath on them, then they fall down. And so this is, and people still own those, paying taxes. And so this ordinance is helping to give my residents a peace of mind. Now, I know some people don't want to do anything for the second ward. It's fine. But I know on the north side, this is something that we need, because it looks bad. And so this is a step in a positive direction into, give people what they want. So so I do commend the producer of this ordinance for doing the due diligence, talking to the residents, seeing what's needed. Because at my community conversation that I've been having for almost 5 years, this is a problem. And they've been looking for a way to get in front of this, and this is a way to get in front of it. So again, I want to ask my colleagues, please and respectfully, if we could consider this, even if it's not for you, but it's for other people that serve with you that have this problem. It's blight. Every street almost in the second ward, you will find a dilapidated home. And a majority of the private owned abandoned homes, they belong to private residents. and this data to show that. So let's go ahead and hold these people accountable. And again, I don't mind if you want to hold the land bank accountable, but we must look at, okay, how did they acquire that property? Did we give them the property? So if we did, we're part of the problem. Then let's also look at our properties. Are we maintaining our properties? A lot of times we're not. So let's start by having the people that voluntarily took on this property, this responsibility to be a parcel owner in the city of Flint. Let's hold those people that voluntarily decided to be parcel owners responsible. And from there, we can build and we can snowball a positive Flint that all residents can enjoy. And this ordinance is doing just that. So I went to the streets, and I heard from the people about the violence ordinance. They spoke up and they said that's what they wanted. Didn't go through. I hope that this ordinance will be listened to. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else in the first round of discussion, I will go ahead and take my time. There are a couple of questions that were raised that I do want to answer as the person who worked very closely with the neighborhood in their ward who is experiencing an issue with property owners not being able to be found. I want us to point out the fact that this is a registry, meaning we are trying to find the owners of property, which that should already tell you their intent for said property. If we can't even track them down as a city to tell them, hey, come cut your grass, come board up your home is being tagged, your home is being stripped of copper and everything else. If we can't even find you to tell you to care for this property, it shows no real intent to care for the property, because someone who owns a property and has any care or value in the property will make sure that you know how to find them should something go wrong with the property. So first and foremost, this is a registry so that we can find property owners. I believe the question was raised, how are we going to fine taxpayers, or how do we levy fees on them? We write blight tickets all day, every day. So are we saying we're not writing blight tickets anymore? Because this is the same as writing a blight ticket. The only difference is with blight ticket, the home is not vacant or abandoned. This is just another layer of a blight ticket. So if we're saying, how do we levy fines and fees on taxpayers? Taxpayers are paying those blight tickets. If we're asking whom else is doing this, Flint is not unique in this. As a matter of fact, Flint is slightly behind Kalamazoo, who I will use as an example because it makes our ordinance look a little like child's play. They have a $25 a month initially, and then it goes to $50 a month after 90 days of not registering. We did not do that here. So if you would like to look up Kalamazoo and see that Flint is actually being quite polite when we've already been in a situation where people have purchased properties and poofed. This is our opportunity to say, no, thank you. We're looking for you. You need to come and take care of this. You need to make sure that wherever you live, I'm sure it's probably somewhere really nice, because oftentimes people who buy properties here are somewhere living lovely somewhere else where the lawns are mowed, where buildings, if they're even abandoned, are boarded up and properly taken care of. This is our opportunity to say, if you buy property in this city, you will take care of said property in this city. You will not leave it to be vacant and abandoned. You will not leave it so that it can unfortunately be another fire hazard. You will not leave it so that it can be tagged up and tear down the property values of those of us who actually reside in our homes in this city. And as far as the question about snowbirds, please allow me to elucidate in the abandoned property definition. If we go to number I, the owner has no intent to return or maintain the property. Obviously, if I'm a snowbird, I have every intent on returning and maintaining my property. As a matter of fact, if I'm gone for a few months, I'm making sure that it is properly winterized so that when I get back here to the city that I love in the warm months to enjoy, I don't have a bunch of repairs that I have to pay for or come out of pocket for. So I will make sure that this home is maintained. It also states in here, lovely, well-crafted ordinance by our city attorney, that that has to be maintained in compliance with the city code requirements that relate to property maintenance, has either water, sewer, electricity, or gas, or any other of the foregoing utilities disconnected, illegally connected, or not in use for more than 60 days. So there are things that cover what happens if there are people who are going away for the winter. 9 times out of 10, they're not completely just turning off, because we know Michigan winters are brutal. So they need that water running through their pipes. They probably have a family member or somewhere. It also alludes to the fact that you can put us in contact with someone who can get in contact with you here as well. You can have someone who would be in charge of said property so that we could give them a call and let them know, hey, that sidewalk is full of snow, or hey, I don't know if you know, someone has busted out the windows there. So this does answer for some of the things that you all have asked. At this point, I will go ahead and yield, and we will go into the second round. Is there anyone who would like the floor? Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. Attorney, through you to Attorney Darrow.
Absolutely.
Attorney Darrow, I know you said you didn't work on this document, and going back to the Carter Landon one, and so there's a $300 fee. Is that correct? Yeah. And so with the Carter Landon, I know that they said that you could not enforce it. And so if that is, there are some questions that I have. I'm sorry, it's hard to hear you.
Well, because I'm sitting here now researching Carter Landon, and I don't see the case that you're talking about.
It's Carter.
I found all his cases, but I don't see the one where you're saying that he won. There's a couple of them. I sent you one. So that's something that we can discuss later,
Okay.
as far as Carter Landon goes.
Okay.
Okay?
So with that, because I know there were fees, and that one, and this is also attached to fees that you have to, the city will add to their master fee, a fee for $300 for registering a property. And it is something, I don't know if you, Councilwoman Mushat, had checked into that. Did they check into that?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
For the $300 fee for registering your home?
I'm not understanding what your question is.
Is it legal? Which attorney did you work with?
Yeah, the attorney, the city attorney.
Well, she's a city attorney too, so.
No, she's an assistant city attorney.
I am the assistant.
There you go. She's the assistant city
So
attorney.
you talking, well, I need a name, Attorney Gurley?
Correct.
So Attorney Gurley, did she check into that? Because the fees, when charging fees on property, it has failed in courts. And so she's stating that this was signed off as to form, she was okay with this.
Correct. She drafted it.
Well, she should have shared with her staff. Because when we have these cases and we're looking at the amount of time, and as far as with snow, who deems, when we talk about defining, who deems how long when someone is not there? You know, I got a couple questions about that. When you're asking, it defines, that it leaves gray area. You know, you're not at your home, but it doesn't define what does that mean. Just like in our charter, it defines, you know, not being at your home. Does it have to be winterized? Does it have to be, they're more in depth? And that's 60 days. Because there are people who are, and I get what you're saying, but with those fees, I think that, and this has nothing to, I have them in my house. I got a lady in Lake Havelock or Havasaw who does not, she pays taxes, and cats and groundhogs live in her house.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the second round discussion?
This just needs some homework.
Councilman Pfeiffer.
So through you to Madam City Attorney, I'm sorry, the Assistant City Attorney. My colleague in the 7th Ward said, if they have an intent to return to the home, how do you define intent to return them?
Yeah.
And my question, I guess, so if there is a snowbird, and I'll stay on a snowbird situation. So there's a snowbird, right? They leave, someone reports that property. Maybe they didn't, the snow removal people didn't come, show up, whatever else. Now, someone from the building department's going to come out. They're going to inspect it. They're going to reach out to that owner potentially and ask them if there's an intent to come back. Like, I don't understand the process. I understand fully abandoned properties, and I have no problem with that. I'm talking about, because this does not exclude potential homeowners that are away. Maybe they're in the hospital. Maybe they're, maybe they're low income and they're in the hospital. And now they can't afford to pay someone to mow their lawn or something else. And we can't reach that person because they're maybe in the hospital. Who knows?
Well, the ordinance did indicate that if there was no running water, if there's no electricity, if they're paying a water bill to the city, that's an indication of they're returning. I mean, people that abandon are not just.
Right. No, I get that.
So, I don't know.
Where does it say that they have to be paying their water bill?
There is it says, abandoned property means a residential or commercial structure that is vacant and meets one or more of the following criteria. And then it says, has either water, sewer, electric, or gas, or any of the foregoing utilities disconnected, illegally connected, or not in use for more than 60 days. So if they have.
So it says not in use for 60 days.
Not in use.
So,
if you're gonna have some sort of electricity or,
But do we subpoena those electrical records? How do we get those electricity records from consumers? How do you know that there's, I understand that we can determine.
I can't say for sure, but I'm sure that they, just as we go out and check abandoned properties and see that they're is illegally connected.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the second? Is there anyone else in the second round of discussion? Seeing as how there's no one else in the second round of discussion, I will go ahead and take my time. Does say currently used or occupied, provided however a building or structure which remains furnished, utilities connected or in use, and the property maintained while the owner is absent shall not be considered abandoned. And then what the city attorney just read, I also read that in my first explanation. I think yes, sir. Please pause the time. Yes, sir.
So you're saying as long as they have utilities connected, this won't apply? Is that what you're saying? If they have an active water account, or the water's turned on, then this won't apply?
In the ordinance. Please start my time. All right, thank you. Again, this is something that affects the entire city. We are trying to get people to register their properties, to register the fact that they are the owners of the properties, so that we can get in contact with them if there is an issue or concern with the property, if the property has been broken into, if the property needs the lawn taken care of, if the property has somehow been tagged by a lovely street artist in which they did not commission. If the property has any issue whatsoever, we need to be able to get in contact with the owners of the property, whether it is residential, whether it's commercial. We need to be able to find an owner. I don't think that what we are asking in this ordinance is weird or absurd. I think it makes perfect sense that we should know who owns these properties. We have far too many properties, as Dr. Lewis has pointed out, that we couldn't find the owners. The owners decided they no longer cared and they just left the property. And of course, it was up to the city of Flint as to whether or not it would go back to the land bank. But those properties ended up back at the land bank. And I think, Mr. Pfeiffer, to your credit and to answer your question about, well, what happens with land bank properties, I think that this is also a boost and an incentive with them as well when it comes to their properties and the care for their properties and them taking care of their properties, because then they will have to answer to residents and to everyone else about how is it that now we have a city full of properties that are registered and as a result of being registered are being taken care of in one shape or form or another, and now you have properties that are not. It has to start somewhere. We can't sit on our thumbs and say, well, if they don't, then we won't. This is our city. We have to make some decisions. And one of the decisions that I hope that we make today is to give neighborhoods like the Central Park neighborhood, like a lot of the neighborhoods in the 2nd Ward, a lot of the neighborhoods in the 3rd Ward, a lot of the neighborhoods in the 4th Ward, the dear 4th Ward, which really needs our support on this, the 1st Ward, even in your ward, all of our wards, we have properties where we cannot find the owners. We just need a way to find them. And this is a step in the right direction. What we are doing is not unique. I pointed to Kalamazoo, who has way more teeth in theirs than we do in ours. And that is something we should probably come back and review later after we see how this initially goes. Absolutely. Pause the time.
Why is it that the penalty is a civil infraction and not a lien on the property? If we can't find them, how are we going to send them a ticket? We should be liening their property.
Absolutely, Mr. Pfeiffer, but it sounds like you're leaning toward no, because if that were the case, you'd ask to amend and make that in there and vote yes on it right now. Is that what you're asking me to do? No, sir. What we will do, because you absolutely have that opportunity, and I appreciate your forethought on this. This is the end of round 2. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Johnson? Yes. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns?
I abstain until I get the documents from the city attorney.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? No. Mr. Jarrett? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 2 no, 1 abstention.
The vote is 6 yes, 2 no, and 1 abstention. Ordinance 260134, Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 11, Building Code will go to council. Moving on to our final ordinance of the evening, and that is ordinance 260135, which is the code amendment. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. You are correct. This is not the final. Moving on to ordinance 260135, Code Amendment Ordinance Chapter 50, Zoning. What is the pleasure of the body? There is a motion made by the councilman in the 1st Ward to move to council. Is there support? Moved and properly supported by, was that you, 4th Ward or 3rd Ward? Thank you. By the councilwoman in the 3rd Ward. Is there discussion? Discussion in the first round?
Madam Chair.
Councilman Pfeiffer.
So I guess I'm getting conflicting information. Are we allowed to make changes to this through you to the Madam Assistant City Attorney? I was told that because of Michigan law of zoning, that it has to go through the zoning board. Because if we can make changes, I would have made changes 2 weeks ago. Mhm.
Time to pause while she's researching.
Yeah. Yeah, Madam Chair, can I get, yeah.
Yeah, can we pause?
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to call the city attorney?
These resolutions were signed, approved the form by Joanne. So it is legal for us to do. And I'm trying to, so you guys can move forward.
So I was told we have to approve or deny or send it back to planning commission.
So that your,
We cannot make amendments. That's what I was told. Is that not a true statement?
you probably cannot amend it because any zoning does have to go through planning commission. But as it's approved to form right now.
Right.
So any amendments would have to go back.
So given that there needs to be more discussions and amendments, then I don't know what to do.
Can we start this time?
I don't, so I guess I'll yield because I can't make any amendments. And I'm not going to approve it the way it stands today. That's for sure. I yield.
Is there anyone else who would like the floor in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
So are we saying we cannot amend this?
I mean, that's what they're saying because we have a plan.
So to you, Madam Chair, to Attorney Darrow, so can we not amend this?
Planning commission approves zoning, so you can make recommendations if there are some issues and some questions.
I think that, yeah, I would, so I don't remember what was his name who was here. Oh, he's back here. To you, Madam Chair, too. If you come to the podium, I don't remember your name. And I apologize for that.
Jason Ball.
Jason, thank you. So you stated that, and you heard our discussions, and we talked about the green areas, the TN1 and TN2. And, people, and I get my colleagues, like today, we can say, well, there may not be a house that needs to be torn down. And let's, the 9th Ward over off of Miller Road. But one may have it, if it, was to be torn down, then we would be able to, a person could buy that lot and put a duplex there because it's the entire city it encompasses, that it does not exclude any areas where you can put a duplex. So you were stating that we could send it back, or you would recommend to send it back, or if those were the issues. I just can't, I don't think anybody in certain wards would want their neighbor who's parking out, and people really get serious about parking in front of their houses and at the end of their driveways when they're not used to seeing parking, and people do. And a gravel driveway, and I get it costs less, is a secondary type, but if you are in a house or in a neighborhood and, people all have cement, asphalt, and in some, if you do HOAs, if you're in suburbs, you got to have a cement driveway. You can't even have asphalt because what it does is provides consistency for the neighborhood and for their home values. And it matters if you live next to someone with a dirt or gravel driveway.
Yeah, so I can respond really quickly. I did a bunch of reading while I was sitting back there to
Okay.
answer some of your questions. So I did misspeak. Your zoning ordinance does say that for you as a city council, you can only approve, deny, or postpone a
Right.
request that comes in front of you. So I was wrong. That's a unique provision. Most zoning ordinances allow council to edit ordinances. So I'm not sure where the gravel driveway regulation comes from. I don't see that in the amendments in front of you. I don't think
Well,
that
they
was
said
in
they
that.
could put in a gravel driveway to save money. I mean,
I don't think that's in the, I didn't see that in the language in front of you. I'm not
well, I
familiar
spoke
with
with
that edit.
Joel Arnold, and that was a way to save money.
That may be a way to save money. The code today says a driveway has to be hard surface.
That's what I stated, but that was one of the,
Yeah,
so who knows? I'm seeing heads shaking. You want to come up to speak, Ron?
mean, I just double checked the
Mr.
code.
Summer.
It says driveways have to be hard surfaced with asphalt or concrete.
So you can have a gravel driveway in the city of Flint. Yes, you can. If it's adjacent, or if it's adjacent to your driveway, you can add a secondary, but it has to be directly next to it. So it doesn't have to be the same type of material. So if you wanted to add to it. So you're saying,
If that exists, I'm not sure, that's not a part of our amendments. I'm not sure
Okay.
where that requirement comes from.
so, and the other concern is the parking. I know it's talked about parking, and most people have, a husband and wife are gonna have 2 vehicles. And if they have a child that lives at home, because a lot of them are moving back home because rent is not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I think to your point about the opportunity to send this back to make
Yes.
changes, I think if you all have those concerns, those are changes that are easy to make for the planning commission for it to come back to you, so you feel good about it. Knowing we have time, limited time, I'm talking fast, sorry.
I know, I hate the time limits.
And so the key to allowing for development, allowing for on-street parking is not as important as reducing the required number of off-street parking spaces and also allowing for those parking spaces to not have to be structured like a parking lot. So we allowed duplexes to have parking lots that were like a driveway.
Mhm.
That would provide a lot of more flexibility and not require so much space and lots to be used for parking. Right now, if I have a duplex, I literally have to build a parking lot behind the duplex. So if we allowed that space to be on a driveway, it would help a lot.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion?
Madam
Anyone? Oh,
Chair.
Councilwoman Priestley.
Just real quick, I know that on my street, just for information, there are several driveways that are gravel and not hard surface. And that is, one of them is right next door to my house. So it's difficult to shovel. I used to snow blow. You can't snow blow until it's really frozen. So, but there are driveways in the city that are gravel.
She's yielding? Okay, is there anybody, is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Anyone in the second round?
Madam
Okay,
Chair.
Councilman Pfeiffer.
I mean, so, Madam Clerk, how does this work if we refer it back with changes? Like, do we make amendments and send it back to them with the amendments? How does that work?
So you can postpone this to keep it in legislative.
Okay.
And then I can make a referral to the appropriate individuals so that they can then forward it to the planning commission if it's necessary. So I would just basically do a referral back to planning and zoning so that they can see if it's with your, recommendations or whatever you were looking at,
Okay.
if it needs to go back before the planning commission.
Okay. Do we have to make those recommendations right now?
No, you could send them to me so that I can add them, but the sooner you would send them, obviously, but you could
Sure.
just leave it in legislative until you get your
Sure. Okay.
answers.
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor to postpone.
To leave it
To
in
leave it in
legislative.
legislative.
And then follow up with a referral to the planning commission.
And then follow with a referral to the planning commission. Is there support?
Support.
Moved and properly supported by the councilwoman in the 6th ward. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Ms. Priestley? Yes. Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
No.
Ms. Johnson? The vote is 5 yes, 4 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 4 no. This this ordinance stays in committee. Moving on to our final of the night, which is our add-on. Our add-on number 1, which is an ordinance to amend the Flint Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 19 Fire Protection, Article 1 in general, Section 19-1 International Fire Code adopted. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th ward.
Motion to send to council.
There's a motion to send to council. Is supported by the councilman in the 9th ward?
8th ward.
Oh, that was 8th ward. Oh, councilman in the 8th ward. Is there discussion?
Yep.
Councilman in the eighth
Just
ward.
real quick, so this is basically the same, or the same ordinance that came before us with a slight amendment to add the year and add the current year of the fire codes. So that's the only change.
Okay, is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Anyone in the second round? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
The vote is 9 yes, 0 no.
Vote is 9 yes, 0 no. That that ordinance is passed to council. What is the pleasure of the body?
Motion to, oh,
Okay, there's a motion to adjourn by the
Support.
councilman in the first ward. Is there support? Support by the councilwoman in the fourth ward. Roll call vote.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Is not in.
I'm sorry. Mr. Pfeiffer's not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin? Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. The time is 8:14 on Wednesday, April 6th. I hereby adjourn this Legislative Affairs Committee.
Just letting you know, because Friday's the day we're literally there.
Friday is the last day, yeah. I'm gonna come Friday. Yeah, I can only do one activity a day. This one is working, maybe something else, but. So who are you going to?
It's gonna be, so I have, I think it's gonna be this exact same. Yeah, that's Samsung. Oh, I think it's the same, I think it's the same company, it's just the phone.
Oh. Now what's this?
I'm trying to get him to do a vacation of, sunset or sunshine and something else. It's an add-on. Rush Alley from East Fourth. We don't do this with governmental operations? Oh, yes, we do. You're right, it does. Oh. Wait, let's go. I know, I'm just tired. But, I mean, is this an add-on? Yeah. So how are we supposed to read on this and then? Don't ask me. I'm not doing that. I allow the budget amendment to go on and. Yeah, but this is, but that was before. Yeah, but look how this is. Dennis is the one, this is Dennis's. Dennis Lee? No, wait, he's up. Mr. Dennis. Yeah, but it's time for us to go. So y'all don't have it. Y'all don't have it. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Proceed. Get good. Yeah, I know. Did your meeting do well? No, but not me. I'm sitting up here going. If we have jobs, I gotta be at work at 5. I know you do. That's what I'm saying. Go back. That's what I used to tell Quincy all the time. You go home, go to bed. I know. Well, I know. That's what you have to say. This twin was really sick. You know, I say. Everybody fighting cold and weather. I know, it's spring. I need to get it, I wanna get. We're gonna have to stop doing these add-ons, because it takes time to read this stuff. I mean, and I was real, I did the add-ons earlier, I didn't complain. And we haven't did. Because it didn't get in on time. Right, and that's what we stopped. That's partly. People unprepared, you know, up here. Two of my nieces are driving my life right now. Don't know. One of them was the other one is babysitting her baby. She just moved here from California. And she loves it. Wasn't physically, mentally, so in the last month, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, she's flown from Colorado to Flint, from Flint to California, California to Flint, Flint to Colorado, with the baby, with the 4-month-old baby, and then the baby flew with her sister who lives with me from Colorado to Flint, while she and her other sister drove from Colorado.
We have to, start. Hey, council members, if we could please start our next meeting. It's really short, so if we could get that started. We have to do this add-on really quickly. We do once everybody sit down, don't. We just have that one item, and if you don't want to sit through discussion items, that's fine. Okay. Who? Which person? In the orange? I don't know. I don't recall.
Jason Bourne?
Oh, cool. Have you ever watched those? I've never watched it. I've always said I'm going to sit down and watch it, but I haven't watched it. Hmm?
Okay, do we have 5? Yeah.
Y'all ready? Come on.
Yeah. Okay, it is
8:22.
8:22, and I bring government ops to order. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis,
Present.
Ms. Johnson, Ms. Priestley,
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat,
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Present.
Mr. Jarrett. You have 6 members present.
Thank you. We have 6 members present. Reading of disorderly persons code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of the Flint City Code, section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery and disorderly persons will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. If any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting this meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Is there any request or additions to the agenda? Other than the add-on?
You have the 1 add-on.
Yep, so I will add the add-on without objection. Are there any others?
Mr. Chair,
Madam Clerk?
for the record, we have been reading what the add-on is.
Yeah, okay. So the add-on is a resolution to approve a public hearing for the vacation of a .07 acre section of Brush Alley from East 4th Street to the northern parcel line of the property located at 718 Harrison Street. So get more confusing than that. Any other additions? Seeing none, on the public comment, Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers?
All of the speakers that had slips have left the meeting.
Okay, that will close public comment. Is there any council members who wish to respond? Seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda, which consists of add-on number 1, the resolution I just read. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to
Support.
approve by the 7th, seconded by the 4th. Any separations? Seeing no separations, Madam Clerk, roll call to approve the consent agenda consisting of add-on number 1.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter is not in. Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
6 yes, 0 no. That will move to council. On to special orders discussions, Madam Burns. A 30-minute special order is requested by the 5th Ward councilperson and the 6th Ward councilperson concerning the processes and policies regarding property inspections, rental inspections, and complaints.
They're not even here to
Madam-
answer her questions.
Madam Burns, are you coming up?
Guess not.
Okay, then I will leave that on the agenda for the next meeting without objection. Next item is discussion item, water testing update.
Oh, you did.
5-minute discussion requested by the 2nd Ward Council member concerning water testing. Councilwoman in the 2nd Ward, do you want to discuss that or you?
I do.
Okay, then we will start that 5 minutes and The floor is yours.
So as Mr. Edwards make his way up to the front through you, Mr. Chair. So I just want to get an update because I told Mr. Fields that I will continue to press this every week and get an update so it won't fall underneath our radar, because this was supposed to be handled like 3.5 years ago. And I know the body wanted to add more homes to make it 100. And I remember hearing a discussion on the floor stating that that the company that they were looking at, that it was too much capacity, and the company couldn't handle the capacity to do so. But what I don't want to happen, I don't want Mr. Fields, who's come here, he showed us sensitive pictures of his private parts. And he showed us his brush that he put on his shower that turns black. He showed us the black buildup around his toilet. Then furthermore, he gave us a letter, and I gave every council member a copy of that letter that stated that his infection has come from the water. And so I don't want to prolong Mr. Fields' water testing because we can't find someone to test the 100 people that we've decided to test. Because initially it was maybe 20 on the block, because I know he owns several houses. So, but he wanted to have his residents that he reside in tested. And so we had, I know, under 20 houses. And so I would like to get an update to see where we are, and also to see if we can just exclusively get Mr. Roy Fields water tested, because he's coming to these meetings. Well, he came to the meeting when he was able. His health is failing. And according to the letter, the water situation is not making it any better. So is it any way possible for this body to push to get his water tested as we work on the plan to get the other 99 people? Because he came here, we heard him, we have pictures, we have letters from Henry Ford. And I don't want to continue to brush it under the rug or continue to play the waiting game. I don't want to have to wait when he's lying in repose. I don't want to do that. I want to get this done while the air is still breathing in his body, and because it's a problem. And so what can we do, Mr. Edwards, to test Mr. Fields' water? And I guess we come up with a plan for the rest.
We're back to the same question from the original time period. The whole issue wasn't about the number, the expansion of the number. The issue was nobody wanted City of Flint people to do the actual activities that were required.
Correct.
These companies are not doing it. They're not going to do that. They're strictly going to test the water. We followed through. I sent a letter up to everybody, met with Councilwoman Mashat. We all met with the various companies, and they're just not doing those kind of things. So the best you're going to do
hold on. Let me stop you. So you said they're not doing those kind of things.
They're not going to do surveys. They're not going to do person to person or door to door. That's not they said absolutely not. Those are not behaviors that.
Okay, got it. So
activities.
I want to make sure I hear it. So it's not door to door and it's not surveys. So we scratch that and get his house tested. So they won't go to a door, not door to door. So they won't test a specific residence.
They will not. Let's be clear. They will not go help the person get the samples. They will not show them how to do sampling. All they want to do is you collect the sample and give it to them, and they'll test it for you. That's all they want to do.
So basically, Mr. Fields will get a sample from his house, and he'll give it to the outside company, and they'll do the testing.
That's correct.
Okay, so if he's okay with that, can we move on with that? Because they just don't want the city to do it, and I understand why. It's not a secret. We understand why. And so, will it be possible for us to move in that direction? If Mr. Fields, if they will give him the sterilized container, and he gather the water sample, and then he can connect with the company. Is that possible? And he can give that to the company.
I'm not, yeah, we can get you a bottle. We can probably get you a bottle from our own water, from the water plant or whatever. We can get you the bottle to give to him so that it's not coming from a City of Flint person. And then he'll do the collection. Whether he knows how to do the collection right or not, I don't know. But he'll do the collection and give us the collection, or give the company, if that's what you're saying. Somebody still has to get the collection to the company, I guess. And they're not out to pick up and deliver. That's not what they do either.
Well, I know that we have time, so, Mr. Chair, can we add just 5 more minutes for this discussion?
Without objection.
Thank you. So, okay.
I think you have to designate who's going to do what. That's not for us to do. I think that because there were so many restrictions, you have to designate who's going to do what. If there's going to be somebody to come get the bottle, pick up the bottle, take the bottle to the resident, and then collect it, and then that person has to get the bottle back to us or the company for processing.
Okay, so I just want to be clear,
Yep.
because to my understanding, the community water lab that we have here, they come into your house, they get the sample, and then they take it with them. That's what our community water lab does here. So you're telling me that that out of all the people that test water in the state of Michigan, no one is doing that. No one is doing that. No other entity is going into the home, collecting the water correctly and taking it with them. So there's no other entity doing that.
Other than the City of Flint? No.
In the state of, okay, so no.
I don't know. I can't respond to, make a blanket statement to that. There were 5 companies given to me, and we narrowed it to 1, and that was the one we interviewed. I don't know of any other companies. It took a bit to get the 5. So once I got the 5, I explored the 5. I got the one that gave me some indicator that they might do something. And then that's why I contacted Councilwoman Mashat, set up the appointment. We talked to them, learned that they don't do anything.
Okay, so that's because you selected 1 out of 5. So you interviewed and you selected 1 out of 5.
Based on having credible information of all 5 of them as to what they potentially will do as a service. Yes.
Okay. So now that the service is more narrow, so now at this moment, if we don't pursue the 100 with the surveys and those things, so can we go back to the drawing board, identify a company that's willing to test Mr. Fields' water? To go in his house, test, because if 1 won't do it, will the other 4 do it? Will they go to Mr. Fields' residence?
No.
Will they? So you're sure that the other 4 will not do this?
I narrowed it down. I thought I really said that I looked at all 4 of them and explored all 5 of them. That's how I got down to the 1 or 2 that looked like there was a probability that they would provide additional services, but we learned that they wouldn't.
Okay, but I guess this is what I'm understanding, or what I'm not understanding, is you went to them with a big scale project, right?
No, it wasn't really. That's what I keep trying to reiterate. It wasn't about the size of the project. It was about what you were asking to be done.
Right. So we were talking about surveys and stuff like that. Right.
That's
but we
correct.
ain't talking about that now. We're not. So we're talking about having them go to the house.
That's the part I guess I would probably give way to Councilwoman Mashat, because she seems to have a greater handle on the understanding of that and what's taking place. I did my exploration just based on what I was given a task to do, and I came up with that one that it looked like they might do those kind of things. It doesn't sound like any of them want to do actual physical location, pick up the material, and then take it to be tested.
So hold on. So let's be clear.
Hold on.
So let's be clear. So you said you don't think, or you know for sure that
I
they
know for
will
those,
not do
I
it.
know for the 5 that I looked into, for sure. But that's why I said I'm willing to turn it over to Councilwoman Mashat, who this is her area. She may have better insight to other companies, her company or wherever. She may have better insight than I do. But I'm telling you, for the 5, it's a no.
Okay, so it's a no to go to the one
It's
house.
a no to
and
go to the
test.
house, right?
All
They
right.
don't do that. That's not what they do.
Okay, all right. So with that being said, I'll ask the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. So what are our options so we can take care of Mr. Fields? I'll put a motion on the floor to add 5 more minutes.
Is there anyone else that wants to speak on this?
So I'll ask again, and I'll ask again the councilwoman in the 7th Ward. Do you have any insight on this? So we can, because what it sounds like we're playing with this man's health. He asked to get this water tested, and this was passed. It was recommended through Councilman Member Murphy and Councilwoman Jerry Murphy Carter. I'm just trying to follow through and get the man water tested, because he has paperwork that says that his condition is caused from Flint water. I don't understand what's so hard. So I'm going to ask again, is there anybody on this body that can give me some insight so Mr. Roy Fields will not feel like council is stringing him along and yanking his chain and not trying to help? Because if that's the case, at least we'll say it on record and we'll move on. But I'm just trying to get some down to the bottom of, as we determine how we're going to handle those other 99 houses, can we separate this one where we had evidence come down to this meeting, and can we get him a resolution?
Mr. Chair.
She has the floor. Is she yielding?
Yes, I'm yielding.
So if you'll recall, I told you almost 2 months ago when I said 2 months ago, there are no companies that do this, that you are wasting time kicking something further down the road for something that is not going to happen. I explained how to get it done 2 months ago. So no, I'm not stringing his life along. When you forcefully, hold on.
Request for
When you
information.
forcefully push this forward 2 months ago.
My request for information is, what did she say? What was the resolution that you gave me 2 months ago?
So nobody up here recalls 2 months ago, I told you all there wasn't a company that was going to do that. All of a sudden, everyone has amnesia. When I told y'all 2 months ago.
Don't speak to people.
I'm sorry.
No, because there was a checklist and said that the health navigators go do that. That was the proposal.
Because they would be the only ones who would do it. Go back and revisit what I said 2 months ago. I said that the water lab in Flint is a very niche thing, that the work that is being done at that water lab is very personalized because of a community that went through a crisis. And so we understood the work that was not being done. So we came up with people that would do the work in our community. Told y'all 2 months ago that this is where you would end back up. And what I got told 2 months ago, you're trying to do too much. You're doing this. This is being kicked further down the road. When I told you 2 months ago, you were the ones kicking it down the road and how to handle it 2 months ago. All we need to do at this point, I don't understand why you can't figure it out, is put a motion on the floor to have the city test Mr. Fields' water. What is going to happen, because no company is going to his home, and you want to make sure the chain of custody is intact and that the water is collected with no extra contaminants, whether accidental or not. You are going to have someone go collect it. I understand he does not want the city to go connect it. Go ahead.
Is there a way that we can, the way that DoorDash covers shit up, like put a sticker over it and have the homeowner sign it, that the sticker's not broken type of something? I don't know.
That's not how that works, because you still have to take the top off. You still have to make sure you get the right draw. There's still a lot of steps that you have to do.
I'm saying before the health navigator leaves the home after they take the sample. They put a sticker on it, the homeowner saying, this is sealed.
You absolutely can do that, have the homeowner sign off on it. You absolutely can. The homeowner can put the sticker on it himself if he'd like.
Oh,
But this was the solution 2 months ago. So if that's what we would like to do, because again, 2 months ago, water could have been tested. So if this council would like to have a health navigator go out there, sealed bottle, have the health navigator collect the water correctly, have the resident put the is who able to go collect it? Oh, they're talking about me, okay.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this?
We need to put a motion on the floor at this point?
Mr. Chair.
That's 3 strikes and you're out. That was 2.
Thank you.
That was 2.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to have the health navigator go out and collect the water sample for this one resident and deliver it for a
I
testing
would
lab.
add to make sure that there's a tamper-proof.
And tamper-proof, yep.
Tamper-proof bottle that is sealed on site in
Sounds
front.
good.
And that navigator will go with the survey.
Yep. It sounds absolutely great.
Now
All
we back.
all those added to my motion, Madam Clerk. Does that make sense? So we want a health navigator to go out, be able to seal that envelope or that container, and the homeowner sign that it was sealed in his presence, and go out with the survey.
Matt,
Okay, moved and properly supported. Any discussion?
yes.
Madam Second Ward Council.
Thank you. So I just want to be clear. No one told, I keep hearing the councilman in the 7th Ward respectfully say, I told you. You have not told me anything. You have not had a discussion with me about it. Because if I would have heard the discussion, I would have gave my same rebuttal. Now, it is good.
Request
Now-
for information.
What's your request?
Do we have the video that we can pull up when I said to this entire body that we were gonna end up here? Because we can roll that back.
That's not a valid point.
You're correct, thank you.
Thank you. And start my time.
Oh, yeah, we're out of it.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we were on
This is a 5-minute discussion round, first round.
yeah, so you put a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
I did.
This is a 5-minute discussion round.
And so my point is, he wants his water tested, but he made it really, really plain that he does not want the city of Flint involved because the city of Flint was involved in the water crisis. And and that was the motion, that was the sentiment on this floor to totally remove the city of Flint from the process because he got contradicting stories and reports from the city of Flint where he does not trust the city to come inside his house and test his water. Now, being the water expert, I mean, yeah, we rely on our 7th Ward council person to navigate us
Hold
through
on,
this
there's a
process.
point.
Request for information.
What's your request?
Through you to the speaker, is, from the statement you just made, is it that I should understand that he's not going to allow the navigator into the home?
I mean, well, basically, but what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. He already said that he's not interested in having the city of Flint come into his home. And so he'll get a copy of this meeting. He'll hear what the councilwoman said, what Mr. Edwards said, and what I put on the floor. I put on the floor just like he said. So do I think he's not? I don't think so. But we can go ahead and give it a go. But out of good faith, this body said that we were going to search to get him an outside agency to do it. According to the 7th Ward council person and Mr. Edwards, there's no one under the sound of our voice who's willing to go, no company is willing to get paid to go to his door go into his house to collect his water and then go test it out. There's no one in Michigan that's willing to do that. Only person that's willing to do that is the city of Flint. And so the only option that the council is recommending to him is to have the city of Flint come into his, is there someone talking, Councilwoman Self-Moore? Okay, well, just checking, because you're talking on my time. And so I would love to engage and hear. I would love to engage and hear what you're saying so I can have an understanding. Because again, this is not my lane. This is your lane.
She's not addressing you.
She's what? What's happening?
You have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer. So again, so what I hear is no one else in the state of Michigan besides the city of Flint is willing to test his water. That's fine. He hear the meeting. I'll make sure that he hear it. I will ask him personally again, is he willing to allow the city of Flint, whom he don't trust, to come in and to test his water, and we'll see what he say. But this is very unfortunate that a resident that put his trust in this body, in this city, to do right by him, to follow through on a special order that we put forth to have his water tested, drop the ball and totally do what he asked us not to do. That's very sad that this is happening. And so again, back to your question, I'm not testing this water. I'm not an expert. My PhD is not in that. So you would think that those that with the expertise, they'd do it. But I guess we don't have no one to do it. So I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on this in the first round?
Mr. Chair,
In the fourth ward?
all we're doing is collecting the water. We're not testing it. We're taking it to an outside lab to do the testing. That's it. If he has a problem with us collecting the water for him so that we know that it is collected appropriately, then I guess he needs to think about that. That we are offering to send somebody to his house with a sealed bottle, a sealed bottle. Yes.
Okay,
What-
the person, the navigator, the safety, the health navigator, does she know how to collect the sample? Or, I mean, because they're talking about collection, that we don't know how to collect the water. Does the health navigator know how to collect the sample?
Fourth ward, you have the floor.
So anyways, going on, at least hopefully that they will know, because they've been passing out the instructions for water bottles to be tested. And then, so I'm done.
Okay, you yield. Anyone else?
Yes, Councilwoman Lewis, you're leaving and you said you wanted to hear what I had to say. I believe if we play that video back, you were sitting right in that seat trying to push it along when I said 2 months ago that this was not the way to go. Also, if you're so concerned with it and you think nobody else can do it, you could have easily looked up and researched for yourself. You're trying to put the onus on everybody else when somebody who really wanted to do this, I think your degree is in research, like you like to say, you could have researched it. Don't try to put this on all of us. When if you are the one really pushing something, anytime I'm really pushing something, I go look for the answers, I find the answers, and I come back with the answers. So if it was that important to you, you would have found an entity who could have done it. If it was that important to you, you would not have kicked this down the road 2 months later after I told you 2 months ago, and everybody can run the tape back, where she bullied and cowboyed her way into having it done differently. Mr. Edwards, you were standing there when I was telling everyone, this is a waste of time. You're having him go search and find people, and he's not going to come up with anyone. Now, all of a sudden, it's we have a water expert, when 2 months ago, you didn't have a water expert. Don't get mad at me because I told everyone how to avoid this situation, and you didn't listen. Do not try to act like this council didn't care or we did not try to act. The same way Mr. Edwards went and looked for companies, Dr. Lewis could have gone and looked for companies. It's really, really disappointing, and it's disingenuous to say that someone didn't care or someone's an expert or you couldn't have done it when you talk about your degree being in research. Every time we turn around, when it's time to research, you're telling somebody else to do it. I yield.
Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else in the first round? Seeing no one, anyone in the second round? No one in the second round. Madam Clerk, roll call for the motion to have a health navigator with sealed bottle do the collection and forward on to a testing agency.
I know, he's not gonna let that matter.
Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Even vote on it.
No.
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer?
I abstain because if it was that important, then the second ward council person would be here to vote on this.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in.
She left.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no, 1 abstention.
6 yes, 0 no, 1 abstention. That will move to council?
Yeah.
That was
To adjourn.
that's definitely a question. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by 4, supported by 7. Madam Clerk, roll call.
For the record, you made a motion to perform an action. There's no document.
Yeah.
So I don't know unless you want a resolution drafted to move it to council. Otherwise, I was just going to act on what you said.
So we can,
You made a motion to,
I thought
do
we could
something
only
based
act
on-
on stuff that was in a council meeting, not necessarily.
you're
committee.
asking for somebody to gather a sample
Okay.
or something that has,
Then.
I can draft a
No,
resolution
no,
if that's
no,
what you
Madam-
want,
Madam
but,
Clerk, then we would ask that that be an actionable item that you forward on.
yep, I was just going to do it like a referral.
Okay.
So, okay. Sorry.
Motion to adjourn made by 4, supported by 7. Roll call, please.
Ms. Johnson? Ms. Priestley? Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis is not in. The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. 8:54.